getting U.S. trade balance data coming out here. Negative 64.3 billion on a month-over-month basis. Negative 64.2 billion expected there, so a little bit lower than expected. Yeah, that number out at 8:15 this morning. ADP non-farm employment change number comes out much lower than expected. 103,000 versus 130 expected. So two in a row here, coming off that JOLTS number yesterday that was also downside in a big way, ahead of the big employment number this week coming up on Friday morning at 8:30. We'll get November non-farm payrolls expectation. I was just noticing a little bit lower than I had seen in the past. 187,000 now, the latest expectation for that November number. So we'll get that again coming up at 8:30 on Friday. Number of things moving around here this morning. Nvidia back to the upside. They're trying to play nice with the government when it comes to sending things to China, sending chips specifically to China. We'll talk about that. NIO, speaking of, back higher this morning. They're going to spin off their battery manufacturing business. Unexpected from NIO, but a nice gap to the upside. It's Wednesday, December 6, 2023. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there's the overall market, still stuck within this range, but overall holding up quite nicely as far as the NASDAQ is concerned. Yeah, if you missed that or just joining a little late here. November ADP employment change number downside in a pretty big way there, 103,000 versus 130,000 expected. We also get the U.S. trade balance month over month, 64.3 billion negative side versus 64.2 billion. Negative print expected there. So two employment prints here in a row on back-to-back days pointing to the downside. That's going to help things out for the overall inflation fight. We'll see what happens coming up on Friday morning with non-farm payrolls, and then get set because we hear from Fed Chair Powell coming up next week. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Good.
Yeah. Unit labor cost also down 1.2% versus the estimated 0.9, which shows that wages are slowing and actually going down a little bit. So that's interesting here for for margins, for inflation, for the wage price spiral that we've been concerned about. So interesting look. I was just mentioning to Brendo the 10 years at the 4.1.5 range. So yeah, interesting look today for equities.
Yeah, this move downside continuing for these yields. You were very excited this morning about this Canadian interest rate decision. We get a Bank of Canada interest rate decision coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. They're not going to change anything. I think the more exciting part of this, though, could be whether or not the language changes and whether or not they actually come out and say, we're done. Yeah. There's a cut coming up in the new year. But we'll see. Again, 10 o'clock, we'll probably talk about that. Neil is back from a couple of days off. Good to have him back in the seat. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody. And hey, nothing really happened. The market was right around 16,000 when I left. The market's right around 16,000 when I come back.
Yeah.
With some things happened in between. Bit of a rally in Bitcoin. Obviously, we have a lot to get to today because Palantir's to the downside. Plug is looking rather unhealthy. Nio is actually bouncing off that 7 again. That's headed to the upside. And I mean, all the crypto names are pretty much in play. Last I checked, until they stopped moving.
44.1.
44. The real question is, when are we getting to 50? When are we going to get a 50,000? That's what I want to know. Because
I'd say 2 weeks.
2 weeks? I like it. I was going to say February, but 2 weeks is a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
I'll take 15% in 2 weeks if we can get it.
Yep.
Don't discount Nvidia. Bounced off a nice 450 level. The first thing I did when I sat down, well, I logged in first. I looked at where the futures were, and then I pulled up an Nvidia chart and was like, no. Shreef's like, why no, Neil? Like, because I had this line drawn at 450, and then when it bounced off it twice, I didn't do anything about it because I wasn't here. But I had a lot of fun. We're recharged. We're ready and locked and loaded to go. It's hump day. And quite a few things to trade, even if we don't get a big outsized market move. Because I feel like 16,000 could be a problem.
Yeah, we could just hover around this level for a minute. We're already short plug power here as well, so we'll wait to see what happens with that one. Short against $4, it's right up against it right now, but here goes plug power, downgrade from Morgan Stanley today, talking about hydrogen, ain't it? So we'll wait to see what happens here with this one. A little small trade early on as we broke below that $4 market. We sort of leveled off here 405, so if you can guess where my out is, you'll probably be right. So we'll wait to see what happens here, but we're excited. Yeah, it should be a... I have this sticky note, I'm working on it right now, but I'm sort of thinking it's going to be a flat day ahead of Friday. So we'll just, wait for that non-farm payroll number to come through, and then we'll just go from there. But feeling pretty meh about things today, but I feel like as long as you're going to be trading the right names in the right sectors, you mentioned Palantir moving around here today, Nio from yesterday with a good quarter, and then maybe even Coinbase. I mean, that's always something to look at, 150 level, 160 possible high, so we should be good to go here. We're excited. The Packers are in the playoffs. Sorry, your team ain't, but maybe they can get there. And we're doing well, man. It's good. Yesterday, Obi did not know the practice reference from AI. Allen Iverson.
Oh no, I probably would have been.
Hampton's
I would have been mean about that because I would have been all over him.
I know. I was trying not to be mean. What is Sharif? Who's hitting that? Is that Sharif? No. Sharif, man.
Here's a question for you.
I told you, disable that thing over there.
This guy hits. We need like a Sharif hit the fail counter. But the real question is, will Sharif hit the fail more times than I will check my phone for Ohtani rumors? My guess is I'm going to win that one.
A nice little.
You always get the 3 in a row. You can't just do one and done is not enough. Doesn't get the point across. Shout out to your mom as well watching right now. Hi, Sharif's mom. How are you? Good to have you with us this morning. Lots of interesting things to discuss this morning. The guys mentioned this one, NIO up 3 1/4 here. Yeah. I mean, we were just talking a little bit about the hydrogen aspect from Toyota. Also came out recently and said they had a whole bunch of money going into R&D specifically when it comes to alternatives outside of the battery space. I mean, they've been late to the game, for the past couple of years trying to get anything developed. So they have now also said, they're going to focus on electric and focus on the battery side of things. So this is kind of unexpected, though, from Nio.
Yeah, and the thing that you sent me the other day, which was the collaboration between BYD and Toyota. They're looking to actually get an electric vehicle with BYD sent to market. I think for North American markets, you were sending.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So that's very interesting. I was telling Adair off camera the comments that Elon made back in the day with respect to hydrogen, saying the best case scenario for hydrogen isn't even current technology right now for battery. Believe that or not, that's the statement he made. And yeah, it's been an interesting look here for Plug, for Nikola, all these different hydrogen-based energy companies that are trying to get some sort of vehicle put on the road. It's been tough.
Yeah, this is it. This is the, so Toyota is going to build this, or this is obviously the concept, but they're going to build this with BYD and yeah, target the North American market with this. And this is an entirely electric platform, essentially, that they're going to be able to build multiple products off of. And this is the new way everything,
right,
all these manufacturers are going. But yeah, pretty cool looking. So Toyota finally saying no thanks to hydrogen in general and teaming up with BYD.
That looks like actually Toyota's Lexus, isn't it? Because that looks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that just looks similar to all the different cars they already have. But I like that move. Yeah. Do the research, figure out what technology is going to be the right one. I like that story because I'm short plug power, which is going to be hydrogen. So I'm fine with that story. But yeah, cool looking car. I feel like a lot of these, I mean, we had this before. BYD,
it is a nice looking car, I'm not going to lie. It looks gorgeous.
No, yeah, no. There's no point in lying about your opinion on the car. But I mean, I think that.
Well, 90% of the vehicles I think that we show when we're referencing an EV story, we're usually trash talking them for looking ugly. I mean, do you think the Cybertruck, I mean, honestly, what's your opinion on the look of the Cybertruck? I think it's ahead of its time. But what do
you think about the look of it?
I think it's cool. Like,
you think it's cool? Yeah.
It's not my style. No. I think it's kind of cool, but like it's not my style. That's for sure.
Only because that's like what was running Tesla. Like that's what I mean. So it's like some people will like cars, different looks. Some people won't. I think it'd be a fun car to drive. I don't know. I feel like all these tech bros and everything like that are going to be the ones that buy it. But anyways, I just want to look at BYDDY here because this is the name that we're talking about. This has been getting killed. So, you know, if you like some of the story there, teaming up with, this is over on, this is the ADR. You can trade it over on in all of your registered accounts over on the pink sheets, BYDDY and BYDDF. Again, different share classes. Go find out more information about it. But either way, the chart looks exactly the same. You've still fallen from grace over the last couple days, or I guess 2 weeks or so. Just from getting at the highs. Like we were just $65 2 weeks ago. Now you're down to 53. So it's a 20% haircut or so all the way back down in. And I don't know, man. I don't like the EV. If you're going to buy one, maybe buy BYDDY with all the news coming through here. You know, Lucid's down to $4 or something. Is it still down there? Yeah, $4.20. Nio is going to be one of the #1 names here. Well, it is the #1 name on the sticky note. We'll watch out for that today, and that had a good quarter. So maybe these guys are bumping up. But I thought Nio had a little bit of cheaper cars, but their cheapest car is 59,000 Canadian. So that's not. We did that. The ET5. So that's something else there, but they're doing the battery swapping and a little bit of an idea here today on Nio Long. But yeah, EV space has been, I mean, look at Fisker, man. Should I pay Randy for his invitation or just buy Fisker stock and see what happens here in a couple months? This is down to 160 and making new lows again here today.
Wait for $1.
These guys are going to be I mean, I'm guessing they're going to be bankrupt or they're going to do something like that. It's not that I've heard anything, but I mean, look at this. This is October, this is October 7th. Forget about it. Let's go over here. This is September 15th. It was $7. September, October, November, December. 1 quarter later, and you're down. I don't know why I'm getting so excited about this. 1 quarter later.
It's ugly.
And you are down to $1.60. So unfortunately, down 80% in 3 months is not a good sign.
Yeah, last I checked, it's not too good. Well, wake me up when it gets to $1 though, because I'm there for that trade. Because I think when you have the short float that it does, and we're talking about Fisker, when you have that kind of short float, and when you have the open interest that generally is speaking around that stock, I think that's actionable when it gets to the dollar level. Lucid is an interesting one because it's consolidating at a higher low. If we're talking about stocks that can break out in the EV space, generally speaking, this is a setup I'd rather be interested in. Not something like Fisker, which just continues to make new lows. Like, let something show you a bottom before you try to get into it or look for that opportunity. But this broke $4, and the first thing it did, broke $4, didn't really break back above for a couple of days. But then right after that, 4 has turned back into support. And you can see it pretty clearly. It's consolidating off of this level. It's only tested 4 once, and look what happened the day that it tested 4. This is 410. That was the good level. We talked about that every time it bounced off 410. When it finally got to 4, look at the rejection. It closed that day with a 10% move to the upside. It's then gone back to holding the higher low. So this, to me, looks a little more interesting. If it breaks out the top, I look for a long. I think as a day trade, you can look for dips maybe back into that 4 to 410 area. Until that breaks back underneath $4 and closes under there, it's got this good consolidation going, and it's got a short interest as well. So I would sort of say the one that looks like, of the bad names, well, the bad-looking chart names, this looks like it's poised to at least make a break to the upside, and it's a 29% short float. Just looked it up on Trade Ideas.
Market liking these data points we got here at 8:30, 0.5% now for the NASDAQ, 0.3 for the S&P. Back to the upside we go. That's Shopify down 1.5%. We'll talk about why here in a second. Wanted to mention though, Randy was out here yesterday and he had a whole bunch of pictures of the aftermarket things that are available for the Cybertruck already. The guys were mentioning the look of the Cybertruck. And one of them had a wrap on it that was two-tone, so it was white and black.
Brilliant.
It almost looked like a police vehicle in a sense, but with color versus the silver of just the sheet metal or whatever it is, the stainless that they're using, it looked way better. Just adding color. in my opinion, anyway.
Well, Adair pulled up the pink one yesterday on the midday, and it looked decent. I mean, I wouldn't
extreme,
get pink, but blue would definitely be down my alley. But yeah,
there's something about that stainless steel, that metal look that's a little.
Surprised they're making stuff for it already. Things are quick.
Oh, so quick, yeah. All right, let's go Shopify here, 1.5%, as we said, downside back to, I mean, these levels from a couple of days ago. The gap to the downside coming off a downgrade this morning, but this thing, the bigger point, has been on quite the tear, as we've been saying here, 46, 47, all the way up to 75 going into the holidays here.
Yeah, they held their investor day yesterday, Brendo, and that's prompted several rating agencies to chime in. Chief among them, Wedbush, saying, while Shopify's growth and margin trajectory is encouraging, we think current valuation already reflects the upside to our numbers and consensus. Stifel not making any meaningful long-term targets, but saying the company's reputation and continued innovation will help it capitalize on its ambitious goal of becoming a one-stop shop for all e-commerce. Should be noted, 48 analysts covering this with a majority of a buy, and a target of 70.
And we were talking about so much positive data coming from them going into Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and I mean, huge move into both of those events. Little profit taking maybe due now to get back in for these guys.
Like right as it's consolidating in the midst of a breakout is when this happens. Let's pop the daily chart up for Shopify here, because it's in any way you're going to look at this technically. I like this chart better. You're going to find a bullish looking move in Shop. Right? You're doing pretty much exactly what you'd want to see. Like you made a wipeout bottom. This is the kind of thing when the stock runs to the upside, when it traps some shorts and a consolidation under 50 like it did in late October. When it breaks a major level like that, there's people that short levels like this. 48 to a 50 level, you put up maybe 4 to 5% worth of risk, and you think it's going down to 40. That kind of a thing it's a trade. It happens. It then breaks up, breaks the high at 70, and it's consolidating above. So until you break this consolidation, like I don't see a reason not to be thinking this is your 71 level since it made the move over 70 even. If it's above that, long in the top, it's got a nice $4 range in here to 75. Your resistance is up at 75. I don't think you need to complicate this too much. So yes, it's pulled back on this downgrade, but 71 is still within reach. If it gets down there, I think that's been the buy zone until proven otherwise. And if it breaks out the top, maybe this one can continue going. But I wouldn't diddle in the middle or try to put on like a short position like somewhere in the middle of the range just because you happen to like the direction. If it sets up something like a 72.5 breakdown at the open, or in the first half an hour, that's a bit of a different story because that was a bit of a level here going into yesterday. But unless we're trading 71, 75, something would have to set up in the first half an hour to get me to trade Shopify. And the daily chart's still pretty bullish.
Yeah, we were looking at Shopify right here yesterday, and we got this little break of 73.50, and then it started just to rip basically the rest of the afternoon before. I mean, this is the close, so whatever, just kind of bounced around there, but it's still $75. So I feel like, you want to wait for it to get at least to $75, and then I think if you break, it's too bad that we're not right here right now, because I think if you broke this level, which is 73.50, I'm going to think that that's going to be some kind of an area of support there. So let's just wait to see what happens, but that was pretty key there yesterday. Bounced around, huge morning, bounced around, fell, hit VWAP, and then ripped. So I still feel the same way. I'm not excited to get into Shopify early, but if it does sort of make these VWAP retests like that, then I feel that that's something to watch out for. So right now we are above it. It's at 73.50. Shopify, great stock. I did get out of some recently. Nice move back up to the upside. But like I said, I was out of it somewhere in here on these tops. I think I was thinking it was 66 to 68. It was in here somewhere. You've had a nice bump up in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, a huge move up. I don't really believe in the name that much. I mean, I think that we've gone through the pandemic. A lot of people obviously shopping at home and new e-commerce stores being built out, but the consumer is very, very resilient and they keep on shopping. So Shopify should work in that situation. But let's just wait to see what happens here with rates. I mean, will consumers keep on spending? If these rates don't change, we are very, very optimistic that we do get rate cuts coming in 2024 here, possibly as early as January. So let's wait to see what happens. That could help Shopify. But again, it's a little high right now. It's nowhere near its all-time high. It's not even close. But if you have some love for Shopify, yeah, I think you hold it through $70 maybe.
We're going to mention Tesla here. I was just reading a note as well on PayPal with the Bank of America downgrade to neutral today as well. So some of the payment stocks in general under a little bit of pressure, along with that Shopify note we were just discussing. Tesla, I was noting here to the upside this morning once again. Impressive day yesterday. We did come off a long way. There didn't really seem to be a reason why this thing was so strong out of the gate this morning. 1.6 right now back higher again around that 240, 243 level. There was a couple of interesting notes I was reading late yesterday and then this morning for Volkswagen over in Europe with some cuts coming through, some not only job cuts, but manufacturing and price cuts in general coming through for Volkswagen. So they're feeling the pressure. Some of the other automakers, though, clearly not. I mean, 2 days in a row here upside for Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla's up 1.6% today, despite having a bit of an issue with Danish and Norwegian unions for mechanics that may fester into something bigger. We know Elon Musk has made comments in the past about whether or not unions will, find their way into the company, and if they do, it's something that Tesla's done wrong. So taking the onus on him. With respect to Volkswagen, not much to say with respect to price, but obviously, I'm really waiting to see what their collaboration with XPeng is, or XPeng, pardon me, is going to bring for the Chinese market. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it was, we were talking about the Cybertruck a little bit there earlier this morning as well. It's a really interesting thought. If you go on YouTube and look at just there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews of the Cybertruck now that it's out there in the world. The amount of views that these videos are getting, that tells you, I think all you need to know right now as far as demand is concerned for the Cybertruck, guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, you can call some of it curiosity because it's unique and all that good stuff. It's all being different that makes it cool. But this isn't, look, they said from the beginning that this is not necessarily going to be something contributing positively to the bottom line for a while. So in the long run, good entrant for them, all that good stuff. But in the short run here, I think some of these, these unionization concerns, when margins are going to maybe start picking back up again, how they have to battle with the price wars, like that. I think that kind of stuff is a little bit more important to the stock in the short run. But price action is what it is. I like the fact that it's holding. It's hard to see on the daily chart, because you did test the top of the channel, which has been a short pretty much every single time. And again, I just drew this channel when it failed 300. It made a bottom at 210, and then it's very simple. It made a lower high, connect those dots, and then the next low it made, connect those dots, and we've been sitting in this channel. We retested the top at 250 and are pulling back. It's pretty bullish the more we hold this 230 level on Tesla, and you can see it pretty clean in here. It's the low 230s, 31, 32-ish. That's been the buy zone for now into the top end of this channel. And the fact that we did not break this is a great sign, because if we retest the top of that channel before 230 breaks, I think you have a serious chance at a breakout on Tesla. And yes, it does need to get above the 250s. Like, that's been, every time we get up there and close to it, it's been a bit of a rejection. But it's always resistance until it's not. So I'm looking, obviously, if you get to the 230s and that low 230s, I think that's where the buy zone would be. But if this can take out that top, I'm pretty darn interested in the long. In the vein of how strong it was yesterday, I do want to respect 238. 238 has been a good level in the past. And every time it gets there seems like there's a consolidation, bounce, rejection, all that good stuff. So that's the first level to come into play for me today. It's not the biggest one. I think the low 230s, that 31, 32 has obviously been a little bit bigger in terms of support. But that 238 for me on Tesla, we're $4 away. That's one you could dip and rip right off of the open.
Look, that's the exact same levels that I'm going to be talking about here as well. As you just see the sticky note here, it's 238 long. It's a clean bounce here from yesterday. We talked all about it right here. Why not? We stopped at that level yesterday, basically on a dime, and it was a great trade. And actually, I didn't have it, but I remember we talked about it. And I know there's a lot of you traders that took that trade. And then we even talked about this 240 out. So it's that long, that out. We nailed that basically top to bottom. So now or bottom to top. So now let's just wait and see if we could do it again. I think patience is going to be very, very key. I wrote down a possible flat day, and then those numbers came out. So that means we're at 16,000 right now. I still feel like we could fade back out downside. So I'm not bullish at all, despite this move happening. But the NASDAQ may change that opinion right off the open. Yesterday, we were talking to Obi and like, do not short Apple, do not short Apple. I don't think you want to short Tesla either. It's been a big mover. It can rip your face off. Here's 16,050 is what we're looking at. That's only 50 handles away. We could even be there before the open in a half hour. So I would say look at the strength here in Tesla. It's up 3 times what the market's up today. And yeah, maybe EVs are going to be back in here. All this talk about the Cybertruck. If this move, and remember the move yesterday, we just said we didn't know what it was about. It was about the Cybertruck. It was about exactly what we're talking about. People posting videos, people talking about accessories, things like that. And then when that wore off a little bit, it did fade back out pretty dramatically. So just, you have to look at that level. I feel like it's the most obvious thing. And then even if you get long there, you're still going to try to hold it probably to 237 because that was this area right here where we consolidated before ripping. So just be careful with Tesla. I think this could be the best trade today. You're just going to have to wait for it. So in and around 238, 239, give it $1. So if you want to lose $2,000, then you're going to take 1,000 shares because this, you're going to have to watch out for this kind of a level down there at 237. Do not take a 238 long and then just get out when it breaks 238. I do not think that that's the right strategy, but again, to each their own. I like Tesla long down in that area.
All right, let's get some analyst moves for you this morning to kick things off. Adira has that over at the big screen.
Some interesting ones on the list today, including Devon getting an upgrade from JP Morgan Chase, AutoZone with an upgrade here from Raymond James, Capital One getting an upgrade from BofA Securities, and Hamilton getting an upgrade from Needham, trading up significantly higher on this news. For downgrades, we have Asana getting a downgrade from HSBC Securities, EOG Resources getting a downgrade from JP Morgan, Designer Brands getting a downgrade from Telsey. This is interesting because we had earnings yesterday, trading significantly lower on that yesterday. And last but not least, Shift4 Payments with a downgrade from Redburn Atlantic, guys.
Ouch for Asana. Not good. Not good. They reported, so I guess, I mean, you're probably going to get a few downgrades coming. They're down 15%, so when I say not good, that's probably an understatement for some. A lot of times you probably hear me say something like, ooh, it's going to be SSR, short sell restricted off the open, look for a bounce play. That would seemingly be, when I look at the daily chart, that's closer to 19 even, or maybe just in and around, underneath that 19 even for the next support level. If it bounces there, I think you could have an SSR bounce. But on the daily, this 2040 level, 2030, 2040, previous support, generally speaking, when something gaps down, I think support turns into resistance. At least that's the first thing I look at. So if you're watching Asana, if I were to take an SSR bounce, it would have to drop into support, which is another 5% away from here. It would have to be almost 20% to the downside before I'd look for some kind of a long off that 19 level. Otherwise, if you trade this, if I were to trade it at the open, I'd be looking for something in that 20-30 range. Only 270,000 shares that I see in volume, which is not a heck of a lot either. So probably a pass for me on Asana, but it's worth monitoring. Anything down 15% that goes down 20, that's worth coming back to if it does get to 19.
Yeah, I looked at that board and I was like, nah, I didn't really see too much action here, but we are going to go for Nio. This one was upgraded. No, sorry, it was, sorry, I have Nio on. Nio upgraded as well, but that's not the point. Plug Power was the one upgrade or downgrade that I was looking at, downgraded by Morgan Stanley, but we're right here at $4. So we're short this name now. We're just short at 96. We're waiting to see, and we're going to talk about this. I'm not going to go over it too much, but 405, in case you guys were wondering, that is going to just make sure I have that stop in. Yes, I do. So we'll get triggered out on that one. We won't get out of everything, but we'll get out of probably, well, right now I have it as 80% to get out if we break that. Remember, Plug Power has a 27% short float. So 20, let's just round it up. 28% right now for a short float on Plug Power. So despite it getting downgraded, I could see a little bit of a bump up here as the 52-week low is $3.22. So, you know, if it breaks out, it breaks out. We'll get out of it. I just thought this would be a fun one to be in, and it's just not really working out. As right now, Bitcoin, guys, 44. I don't know if we have crypto on the board at some point, but
I hope so.
Hopefully we do.
44,000, baby.
Yeah, it's 44.1 right now, and still going. So there it is right now, 44,150. Looking to take out this 44,250. I actually did not realize that last night at 6 p.m. We actually were high. I thought we were at the highest spot right now, but this is the high right there, 44.4 basically, 44.360. I don't know what this is, coin market cap, so I don't know if this is Coinbase or whatever, but right there, 44.37, the high from yesterday at about 5 o'clock. So right there, man, Bitcoin making a move. I have it up, so I'm going to keep on watching that name as we look at Coinbase. Again, Bitcoin technically up another 5% today, but it depends on where you watch it from. So 1.36% for Coinbase. Not huge number. Why did that we just lost a chart there? That's pretty cool. But we'll watch out for Coinbase and load this chart back up.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here as we head towards the open. Sharif is going to kick it off with a look at the market again.
45.75, Breno, that's where we closed off yesterday. The day prior, we closed out 45.76, so very tight range. But here we go, knocking on the door of 4,600 again. We have a 45.95 high overnight with a 45.71 low. What I would say, like I've been saying for the past little while, 4,600, look at that as resistance, as support. Look at the yesterday's close, 45.75. Let's see if we can break out of that 25-point range.
If you have not done so, make sure you grab that every single day, free for you, right to your inbox. Scan that QR code or go to watchlist.tradertv.live and enter your email address. And then you get everything you need to know in the pre-market from us, all wrapped up in one package. NVIDIA, top of the list this morning. I mean, we can probably talk about all the chip makers, but NVIDIA specifically here. CEO Jensen coming out saying that they're working very, very closely with U.S. regulators on coming up with a solution to these restrictions on how they can possibly send their products to China. Getting a little bit of a bump from that. Also getting a little bit of a extra bump possibly from the overall market right now, which continues to just march higher with 30 minutes to go.
What I think NVIDIA needs here is clarity and certainty. They're making chips for export to China. They need certainty from the Biden administration about what's going to be allowed and what's not going to be allowed. 3 new chips to replace the 2 that were banned. Here they are. HGX H20. That's the strongest of the 3. Then there's the L20 PCIe, and the third is the L2 PCIe. That replaces the A800 and the H800, which replaced the A100 and the H100. Yeah, I know, it gets really convoluted, but it's serious, Brendel, because 20% of their revenue comes from China. And they're in the forecast for earnings, they said they're going to get significant reductions of revenue coming out of there. So they got to fix this.
I think the interesting part here will be exactly what happened the first time. You know, they came out with the restrictions, they adjusted. The U.S. then responds with more restrictions. Now they're trying to adjust again, even going to regulators saying, what do we have to do? Will the U.S. then counter for a third time? So that remains to be seen, but nicely positive here today, guys.
Yeah, see now, if one of those chips was like the T1000, then they'd be in real business. That's what I kept waiting for you to say, the T1000. Just throw, what's interesting, you should just throw something in there like that just to see if people are paying attention to the actual name of the chip. That's what I would have done. In all seriousness though, NVIDIA, the good thing is, every time it's bounced off 400, you've seen what the deal is. 400 to 500, then back again. There was one sort of failure at 70, then the most recent time we bounced off 400, yada, 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 back to 5 and a pullback. So the 50-period moving average on the daily sits at just over 450. And then yesterday, it bottomed off 450. Okay, on Monday, it also dipped down and bottomed off 450. So you have a double bottom off 450. You looks like you're trying to, I mean, it's only one day, right? Second day here, but you're trying to bounce back, I think, to get to that 500 level. So if you take the stairs up, then where are the significant price levels coming back in? Now, it's easy to sort of, I don't want to say easy, but if you look at where we had this higher or higher low at 458, that stands out. That's $14 away on NVIDIA. But what is right here, right now, is this previous 472 level. If we're holding 472 and the buyers come in here above that at the open, I think NVIDIA is along. And it's one with room to the mid-80s. But it has to hold 472. You're at a resistance point once the market opens. So if I'm bullish on a stock and it's at a resistance point, then I need to see it breaking it, and I need to see it holding above. It's already above 72, and there's some volume going in there above. But I need the buyers to come in. And if there's room all the way to 85, you don't necessarily have to have 72.10 long. in that situation. Like it could hold a consolidation here and break out 475, and that move takes you into the 80s. Lots of ways it can get there, but if it fails that 472 right at the open, I got to be very patient, waiting for an opportunity to dip by Nvidia. That's one of the 2 chip names I'm looking at. The other one I'm looking at is just more what's happening in terms of support. Obviously, if you bottom on Nvidia and you bottom in a lot of the chip names, you're going to see a double bottom in a lot of places. So there's been a double bottom on Intel at 41.5 the last couple of days. And the channel that I was drawing on Intel before that got broken, it's pulling right back in. So the previous resistance channel on the daily for Intel, this is how long it had this channel. It's bouncing off of the top of that previous channel. So I'm leaving it in to see how it reacts to it. For now, you're bouncing off the top of it, which means I'm looking long off of yesterday's support on Intel. So that's 2 chip names, and both of them need to hold on to some support. But otherwise, we're now at 16,020. Okay. I mean, before that number came through, I kind of thought we'd just sit here and chill out underneath 16,000 and not do much, and you have to pick your names. But if we're going to be busting out above that level, it's a good thing we're looking for some longs.
Yeah, I kind of am like with Joe Biden on all this, kind of banning these chips going to China. I mean, we finally, as U.S., finally have an advantage here, and we are, light years ahead, hopefully, on this AI. And now we're just going to send the chips over there to China so that they can develop all this AI as well. I don't know. I kind of like. It's a catch-22 as a shareholder, obviously, but I just think I understand why the U.S. is doing this. China started building these battery plants years and years before, and now they're more prepared with Li Auto, XPeng, and all these companies are actually producing real vehicles so that their people can get into them. We have Tesla over in the United States and more companies trying to catch up now. But now you have American companies that have created these chips and now are going to give the advantage right over there to China again by shipping them all over there to create new AI to come after the Western world. So I kind of am with Joe Biden on all of this, but again, as a shareholder, you'd like to see them sell as many of them as possible. I just do worry a little bit, honestly, about all of this because China is probably, I don't know, maybe I'm just too bearish and too doomsday, but I feel like they are going to think about Taiwan at some point. And Jepsen Wong, as a Taiwanese, I don't know. I'm just surprised this is all happening. I don't know. I'm not in love with that rhetoric. But okay, we'll move on that one. I just think you should protect national security and keep the chips in-house. So yesterday we had 116.50 as amazing bottom there for AMD. I mean, to be able to see that and sit there and take that would have been an absolute amazing trade. Unfortunately, I didn't see this yesterday, but that 116.50 was amazing down there, goes all the way back. So if we're going to do that, then I'm just going to go ratchet it up a little bit right here and go into 124. And I think that yesterday we had a top to bottom move of $3. We're going to start the day here around 120, 121. So I'm thinking like a bump up into this 123.50, 124 area is something to look at. I'm going to be short up here. Let's just let it go. It's up 1.51%. Again, I'm long chip names. I've been talking about buying these chip names on a dip, so we will be doing that, but I don't think the dip is here yet. I think there's a lot more to go to the downside, unfortunately. Let's see if that rhetoric pays out. But for today, I think you're going to try to go long, and we're going to, I mean, of course, now that this, we mentioned that we like to go short, of course. I want this to bump up, not to go down. So hopefully we can get up to 123, 124. Long story short there on AMD.
Pump up the jam.
Noticing banks under a little bit of pressure. Citigroup out this morning saying their revenue expected to be at the lower end of their guidance coming through. So a few bank stocks downside this morning. We'll see what happens at the open here. But let's talk about Palantir. There's this Sompo, S-O-M-P-O, from Japan. So Palantir teamed up with Sompo Holdings is the name of the actual company in Japan, which is an insurer, on a 50-50 joint venture back in 2019. So long story short, Sompo has sold the majority of their stake in Palantir. which seems to be the only negative or somewhat negative catalyst here for PLTR today. It was a bit of a choppy ride yesterday, kind of back and forth, but gap down here to the tune of about 3%.
Yeah, Palantir in February signed a $50 million extension with Sompo, which is also Palantir's customer, by the way. It looks like they're trying to service the Japanese government as well as Japanese commercial clients. Sompo not disclosing exactly how much they got out of the deal, but some people saying here they booked about $500 million in profit. So
yeah, not bad at all. I mean, I didn't even realize this, but Palantir a triple so far this year.
yeah, unbelievable.
Huge move.
It was a quadruple.
Yeah, Brendan.
Depending on, well, I mean, okay, maybe technically it didn't quite get there. It really depends, because the bottom was actually like the bottom for Palantir was literally 2 days before the end of the year. So like that, like the timing of it. This is why sometimes I really hate what's the stock up on the year. Like I like it bouncing off a significant level. To me, if this bottom is underneath $6 at like December 28th, then I'd rather look at a number like that. The $6 level, okay, you got to 22, so that's more like 3.5 or whatever, but it's impressive. What I don't like about this chart is you're now failing underneath $18, at least temporarily, right? Like 18 was clearly a big level. All of a sudden, you have a couple of negative days, and we've broken down 18. Now, if you're sitting here, like there's traders, I promise you there's traders that trade the pre-market that shorted this 18 break when it happened at about, I think it was like 6:30 or so. I wasn't, I'm just sitting down just after that, but there was decent volume here. It's a flat bottom break. It's a big level on the daily. If we're underneath 18, I don't think I want to look short. If this re-engages the 18 level to the upside, fair enough. Then it's doing one of those liquidity grabs underneath that price, and maybe it's going to go back into the bullish side. But as long as it's underneath 18, I'm looking short for Palantir. And there's some pretty significant levels that come back into play if it falls any further. Obviously, $15 is a thing. 14.5 was support in around that level. The real monster support on Palantir was at that 13.5, so 13.65 specifically. If it were to somehow get back to that level, I think that's clearly a buy. But for now, we're looking at $18. And if it breaks 18 at the open, gets past like 10s, 15s, I might look for a reversal trade. First things first, looking short on Palantir. I think it's probably fine in the long term, but that was a heck of a breakdown after what was already a huge move off the 20 level just on Monday.
Look, I mean, I wrote down the same kind of stuff there on Palantir, and it's just like it's on the sticky note, but it's not really. I guess there's some kind of an institutional sell report or something out on these guys, and it's just like the problem is it's kind of like Neil and Brendan were saying, it's kind of where it's came from. I feel like right now, I haven't heard anything bad about this name, but there's the pullback, but there's the pull up. So it's like you can't have both. You can't have one without the other, I guess, or you can't, this is going to be a name that, does move around on random things, and different people starting to buy this name up and different reports. So let's just wait to see on Palantir. I mean, yesterday I said we're going to wait for $14 to $15 in this area to start to buy more in our long term. I mean, we've had a huge winner here. I'm not selling any of it, and I wanna hold on to more Palantir. Like, it's never going to be my number one holding by any stretch of the imagination. That right now belongs to Microsoft and Google. But I think this is one of those names that it's new technology. The government contracts keep lining up, but at the same time, they're just making money now. They're not making a lot of it. And their market cap is, let me find out what their market cap is here.
34.50.
34 billion?
I'm making that
no,
up,
that's close. Yeah, it's 37, so not bad, not too bad. 36.70 or so there for market cap. That seems to be a lot, considering the numbers that they're putting up. So let's just wait to see. You're going to have to pay for the future, and Palantir is going to be a good name, I feel like. And yeah, has it been? Yeah, it's been great. So let's let it fall back in. If you take away this bottom, it was actually pretty much doing nothing from May all the way to November. So boom, there it goes. You know what else this could be happening here? I don't think they qualified for inclusion into the S&P 500 yet.
I'm pretty sure they did.
But, that didn't happen.
But Uber, yeah. So just because they can doesn't mean they will. And Uber is the one that is going in.
But and Uber's been falling on that.
Which could easily mean that Palantir might have to wait till like sometime next year.
Well,
and if anybody that was expecting it to happen this year might have to wait a quarter or two, and money could be coming out of it. The only I knew was over 30, but 34.50 I guess for Russell Peters.
Yes.
Reasons when it comes to Palantir. All right, we touched on it early on. Let's continue along, shall we? NIO, 2.7% here to the upside this morning, going to spin off their battery manufacturing division in a bit of a surprise move. I mean, they haven't mentioned anything to this notion to this point. If anyone's wondering, Nio operates under a swapping technology. So you literally drive into a service facility, they take the old one out, put the new one in. So lots of manufacturing to do, but they're now going to spin this off. So good for them.
Yeah, lots of headlines coming up from Nio. We know we had earnings yesterday. We also heard that they were acquiring the chassis manufacturer for the batteries that they had been partnering up with. Now they're offloading their battery division. Look, I did a little bit of research into this, and the more I look into Nio, the more I feel like I'm changing my opinion. Yeah, quite frankly, because
wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Viewers of the show will know that I wasn't too fond of Nio, but there was a reason for that. It's because they focused too much on sedans. Now they've got 4 SUVs, Brendo, that they're putting out there for sale. I don't know what kind of scale they have at the moment, but good luck.
Yeah, we'll see if this does anything. But I mean, the daily chart tells the story on NIO.
To NIO here, just briefly, you've got this stock going all Scott Pilgrim on everybody here. SERA just absolutely flying. It's just to go over quickly, I know a lot of people are talking about this in the chat. I pull up the daily chart. You're making a 450 breakout as we speak. Clearly a monster level here. Let me double check the short flow for everybody. I've got 11.8 million share float, so pretty tiny float. It's already churned through half of that, just making almost a double up. 150% to the upside. This is the kind of level where you want to see buyers out and above resistance, not a place that I would chase. This is where you'd look for almost a dip buy opportunity. If it pulls 10% back, it pulls right back into $4. So this one is now on the radar because I hadn't seen it a few minutes ago, so everyone started mentioning that one in the chat, and we can get back to NIO. Anybody who's never seen Scott Pilgrim, it's absolutely hilarious. Shout out to Michael Sarah. From the same hometown as me. NIO. I'd get that one in there at some point, Fabian. I didn't say Brampton. I'm saying Brampton now, and I'll say Brampton a few more times in this next couple of sentences. But Michael Sarah is from the lovely city of Brampton, where I happen to reside. So Nio's already bounced off 7. Great. We love that level. It's fantastic. It's good. If you took the long off $7, you couldn't have lost in any of the last few days that we've traded off of it. You are now making higher lows. I like the fact. Look, they need to make money. Margins have been a bit of an issue. If you're going to do cost cutting, great. If you're going to be able to generate revenue by selling off a division, fantastic, because the stock price needs something. And you already had a support level put in. You broke a consolidation higher yesterday. This level here, it looked like it was going to do the old stair step, previous resistance into support. That was exactly what you got until right at the end of the day, it broke down that 750 level. Now on this news, you're gapping back above it. So now you have 2 things to work off of for the long trade. 750 and then this high going back into Monday, the 735 level. I think dips off either of those 2 levels look pretty good to me. If it breaks down 735, you got to be thinking $7 here on NIO. So I'm geared up for NIO. It's got good volume today. Relatively speaking, I mean, it does decent volume every single day, but it was jacked up a little bit yesterday, and you're back above the key 750 level. If it can hold that at the open, I think it'd take a long. Even if it breaks 750, I'd probably look for another long with some tight stops underneath at 735. So NIO, it's on the radar. It's another one of these EV names that has been doing its best. Instead of making and breaking fresh lows for the last, call it 3 months, it's been holding the same low, which is better than we pulled up a few other stocks for you, Fisker being one that just continues to fall and fall and fall. This is at least holding the bottom and now showing some signs of getting to the upside. If you're going to long a bad stock, make sure, or a weak stock on the daily, make sure you're doing so at a good level with a catalyst.
Yeah, we wrote down on the sticky note $8 or $7.80, sorry, as a break. I mean, I was just looking at it from yesterday, and I like the story here. I think it's, obviously it's up 3%. I don't have to think it's up 3%. It is, but right there, 780. So that's the level for me. I already have a big order to go if it breaks that, and then I think you can get them all out at 8 or somewhere near that. Yesterday we called that short and didn't take it, which is crazy. I didn't even notice that huge move up off the open. Right? We knew that we were going to fade some kind of good report there, and we were 1,000% right. I mean, we wanted to short yesterday. We weren't even looking long. I said long down at 7, short at 8. Well, we got the short, we didn't take it. So today, let's try it. If it hits the 780, let me rephrase that. When it hits the 780, we are going to go long, and then I'm just looking at some of this consolidation. We'll see where VWAP is at that time. It might only be a 10-cent hit. Like if you get 780 long and we're able to get out up here near 8, I feel like that might be the end of the trade, to be honest with you. So probably a 780 break down to 770. It could be a real quick trade. Let's try to play the momentum to the upside. I do have this going on my other screen, so we are going to definitely look at that one. And then here we go. Just a quick little look at the imbalance locator. There's only 10 minutes. That's all right. Palantir sell. This is why I said I thought it was going to be a flat day today. But again, we printed that before 8:30. So, but look at this, pretty mixed with not much action on here at all. So a nice move up. I'm fading this break of 16,000. It's not that I'm bearish or anything today. It's just I think we got to wait for that non-farm number that's coming on Friday. So I'm going to just hang out here. As Bitcoin breaks again, it's at 44.1. It just dipped down to 44, back up to 44.1 right now. But anyways, NIO, I like the long.
All right, speaking of NIO, Sharif has some very important business to take care of.
He knows about it already. I've kind of mentioned it to him via chat. Well, you and I had the podcast on Friday, and there was a nice bet between Neil and I. He engaged it. It wasn't me. He said, if I didn't mention...
I wasn't even aware of this, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't aware until a viewer reminded me. If I didn't mention Li Auto on the pod, that Neil would go ahead and eat a pineapple pizza live on
Pizza
the
Day. Yay.
Did I
Let's
mention
go.
Li Auto?
Pizza Day.
I didn't.
What is the time frame for said pineapple pizza?
I don't know. I think the sooner the better. Bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neil?
Why you gotta remember stuff?
All right. What time is lunch today?
Well, whatever.
Might as well get it over with.
Okay, well, I'll do it today. Because here's the thing. If you have to do something that you don't want, just get it out of the way. I tell my daughter this all the time. You don't want to eat that vegetable, just eat it, and then you can move on to your treat, right? So obviously I'm not going to enjoy a pineapple pizza. And we will not get it from the same place. I don't know where the best place to get it from, but we got it from across the street. I won't say where, but their pineapple pizza kind of wasn't really a pineapple.
Yeah, there wasn't
pizza.
too much pineapple.
So I won't say we're not going to get it from
viewer
across
sent
the
us
street.
one that one day that was really good. It had jalapenos on it and everything. I think
Yeah, we'll look.
That
once
was really
someone
good.
can look it up and we'll figure something.
I think
Maybe I'll ask Brink.
Yeah,
or something.
and I know the bet was probably extra pineapple probably on the pizza.
Well, whatever.
Only pineapple, like not distracted by ham or anything like that. Straight pineapple.
I thought we said if we're
like cut a pineapple and put it on a pizza.
Okay, now you're just going
the best
over.
between you and Sharif.
Now you're going over.
Yeah, I'm kind of like
the
Don King here. We got Tyson, we got Holyfield here. I'm just promoter.
It wasn't even. Yeah, I did it to myself because it wasn't fair. Because the second it was like obvious, keep talking about it, of course he's not going to say anything about it. Let's get to Shopify for a second, so I don't have to think about this for too long. I love pineapple. And if you get pineapple, get it from the island of Antigua. It's absolutely delicious. But yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen, and here I am having to eat pineapple pizza. But we'll do it. It'll be fun for you guys and not for me.
My only job
Shopify?
today.
Can we talk about Shopify, please?
Yeah. Sure.
Not have to deal with this pineapple pizza nonsense.
My only job today is to find a pineapple pizza now.
The worse the better, Brendo.
Yes.
Right? So.
Like, I don't want to. Fabian just called out one, but I won't throw them under the bus. Let's talk about Shopify. Here's Wedbush with a downgrade this morning. There was a few, actually, negative notes on Shopify. Huge move, obviously, as we said, if you're with us early on, we talked about it briefly. Going into the holiday season here, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, there was huge data coming out of Shopify records across the board, so possibly due for a little bit of profit taking.
Yeah, well, the downgrade came with a price target upgrade from Wedbush. This is all after the investor day that they had yesterday. Wedbush analysts saying, while Shopify's growth and margin trajectory is encouraging, we think the current valuation already reflects the upside to our numbers and consensus. So Stifel also chiming in as well, saying that it's a well-capitalized company and they have ambitious goals. Most of the 48 analysts who rate this have it as a buy, Brendo.
Yeah, so they downgrade it, but also increase the price target, meaning they want more lower before it gets there, guys.
And see, we knew, this is how we knew we were going to be talking about Shopify. Like this morning, I mean, clearly when Sean woke up this morning, you were thinking, I got to wear that lumberjack. It's going to be, Canada kind of day. Shopify is going to be in play.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Almost exactly. That's exactly right. And I was thinking that we were going to have pineapple pizza for lunch. And now both of those things have come true.
You can have a slice if you're more than welcome to eat as much of it as you want.
How was that? That was sick. What was that little noise there?
We had a discussion about this because I thought that was like a warning or some kind of.
I love that.
And apparently they called that sounds an exclamation point.
Ah, I'm wondering, like when I heard it, I'm like, where do you hear that from?
I thought it's like an alarm.
I feel like I was gonna say it's like a video game thing, so I think it's Metal Gear Solid.
It scared the crap out of me. I was like, what? What the hell just happened?
It's like when you like acquire something, like you just got like a new health. Do it again.
Ooh. See, there you go.
I like that.
Here,
how do I?
5 minutes
I
ago.
think about how to use that. That's gonna be.
There's all kinds of reasons. That could be a new position.
People are loving that sound.
That could be a big stop gets triggered. Like if we break 16,000, you could hit that. There's all kinds of ways we can. Breaking news, we could use that thing for. All kinds of.
Biting into pizza.
We got to stop talking about this pizza stuff. Oh goodness. Shopify buy 71, sell 75. That's about it. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. We kind of went over this. The previous high, consolidation bottom 71. There's your 75-ish top. So you go long at the bottom, short at the top, and that's the look for Shopify today.
Metal Gear Solid, man. Yeah, that's solid reference. Okay, AFRM. All right. Yesterday's bell of the ball, Affirm. This was the best trade for me by far. We shorted this. We had this move. You guys saw us, man. We were $2 in the money. We shorted this 30, whatever this break was right there, almost $2, 30, 38 basically, to the downside. We had this break. It was fantastic. And then we started shorting a little bit more in here, which was not fantastic. And by the time the day ended, we wound up basically where we started. So, yeah. Play the momentum to the downside. The reason why we're talking about this is that's at a key level here of $39. So we'll wait to see what happens coming up very, very soon. $39 on Affirm. I want to short it. I'm going to be short this name until we break through 40 right now, $40.30. It's Affirm and Shopify. I'm more looking at Affirm than Shopify. PayPal today also could be on radar as that caught a downgrade as well. All right, let's go back over because we have 3 minutes.
Yeah, we were talking about this SERA. There was positive data from a study. It's a company that's focused on pregnancy and pregnancy difficulties specifically and treatments for that. So positive data coming out of an early stage trial for SERA. Hey, guess what? Bitcoin's green again on the day. It did have a little bit of a tick downside there this morning, but what a move this has been over the past couple of days here. We got to, what was the high yesterday? 44,490. The high yesterday were 44,282 right now. So the move higher continues here.
Yeah, and Coinbase 2.5% already, Brendo. It's getting a nice little buoy. Yeah, we talked about why this has been moving up. Obviously, the spot ETF, the main headline, we may get that anytime, either this year or early next year. We also have the halving event coming in May 2024, and interest rate hikes look to be at an end. So these more speculative assets continue to run. It's been a hell of a move here for Bitcoin.
I'm just noticing there's a chance today that the 10-year and the 30-year will cross once again. 10-year 417 right now, the 30-year 427. So what the move down anyways on yields, guys, continuing.
Boom.
Death cross.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a death cross, but the interesting thing is Bitcoin is breaking out in a lot of ways. It was a good chart that I saw last night. There was a good break happening. If you didn't know what Bitcoin, not just in USD, but in treasuries, it's at a massive triple top. potentially breaking out. So this has to be on watch. If we do take out 44.5, I think things get very bullish. If this local high gets taken out, things are going to the upside, and you just want to join the party. What's interesting, though, is you're not getting, you're up 1% on Coinbase, but you're not really doing much of anything. So we could break out, it looks like to me, you could break out the tops on Bitcoin and still run into the 150 resistance on Coinbase, having made a move to the upside there. So I'm not sure it's an all clear. I think the 150 is still resistance for now. With less than 1 minute to go, it's Coinbase that I'll be watching. If we do dip back in, this double top 134 going back to last week, we left there on Friday. I think that's where I want to go dip by hunting on Coin. We didn't really, at least you got to talk about Plug. All I will say about Plug Power is this previous level in here, 420 is what I'm looking at. You got that high, you've got support, you have the bottom from yesterday. That's what I want to be short into. So above $4, I want 425 to be my on Plug Power. With only 20 seconds to go, it's hump day, it's front of pizza day, and it's going to be a fun day of trade. And lunchtime is going to suck. So without further ado, Adair is on the bell in the North Carolina blue in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. I don't even know how they're doing this year, to be honest with you.
I don't know either. I don't think basketball is not a thing yet, is it? It's still
college ball's always.
Oh, it's always a thing, but I mean, everyone right now is all about the NCAA.
Oh, there's some buyers stepping into Nvidia already about 472. That's good.
Right, we're
Palantir
already.
Yucky yuck, Palantir. Not even getting much of a bid with this market.
All right, so we have an early position now. It's well, we have Plug Power always, but we have also Palantir right now. Or sorry, Affirm. Sorry, you just mentioned Palantir. Affirm short just right now, early against that $40 level. Let's just see if it works. We are bidding some 39s to see if we can get half out, 20% out or so on the downside there if it does want to work out. All right, now that Plug Power is open, I see it's not really doing anything. So we're just going to use the 200 period now of 410. So if this breaks breaks above 410, we will get out of Plug Power. We're short at 98s right now. Here goes Affirm. So we'll spend the money early for one trade here. Affirm, we just took a 39.20. We just got out at 39 flat. There's the bid right there for O's, and here it goes right back up to the upside. So yeah. Waiting for that, a little bit of a problem there. Let's see if Affirm can get going. And then someone just said about Palantir again. Yeah, there it is. Breaking lower, like I said. I don't know what's wrong with this name, but it continues to get destroyed. So there's 750. See you later, Palantir.
Yeah, the sellers are definitely showing up en masse in Palantir. There wasn't even a bounce. I did get into Plug on the way back in, but it's Palantir that I got to get involved with. We can forget about 18, throw that out the window. You're now breaking down that 1750 level. If there's room to $15, then there's a lot of ways that it can get there. Some buyers stepping in at 7. Oh, wow, they just got run over.
Yeah, we are big time short, and we are spinning the money right now on Palantir as there it goes down into the downside. And again, man, we had this on the watch list, so let's just make sure while on the sticky note as well. Let's see what happens now with PLTR. Hey, oh, here it is, a nice little move to the downside. It's Palantir. It breaks 1750, and your boy is short. Right one up for the bad guy again. 1725 as we continue to go to the downside right now. Yeah, buddy, there it is right now. It takes one trade on Palantir, and that was it. So there it goes right now. Plug Power can go directly to hell, but Palantir right now is going back into the downside. So there it is, man. We talked about the weakness in this name, and we hit it. I mean, there it is. It's another sticky note trade. It's Palantir, and I know Neil and I are both looking at it, so maybe it's time to look at something else, but we're short Palantir, Apple, Affirm, Plug.
Apple actually relatively strong here. We're back underneath 16,000. If we regain the bid on 16,000, Apple is well above the $3 trillion mark, which is a big psychological and, well, it's more than a psychological level. It's a big one. If we can bounce off that, I want to be looking dip by an Apple. It's already shown you 192.5 is a good support zone. Plug is about to get back underneath 4.
Wow,
so that's
Palantir,
the next thing.
Dude.
Palantir's at 17
Are you short
even.
this? No.
I tried to get the break at 50,
yeah, wow.
and I crossed to 48, missed, kept trying to chase it to the downside, but I didn't want to chase it too far. But Plug is now back underneath 4. So the first short is simply a short to the pre-market high. It's underneath 420. Now it's starting to break $4. I want to add, if sellers come in underneath $4, I want to add underneath $4 as we go to Adara.
Yeah, CCL Carnival trading higher right now on news that it is reportedly on track to meet its plans for food waste reduction. So Carnival on watch up almost 3.5%, guys.
Like how you said that, Carnival. Okay.
I've never heard it said that way before.
Yeah, we are absolutely jamming right now. And we got a Palantir fill at what, 07? Their 10s is our best fill on Palantir. Like unbelievable. Like I don't, the way that fell down there, like, wow, we are out of about 75%, maybe even a little bit more on that. I took, on plug, I took a 98 fill there. I don't know, man. That's where we're short. So we get out a little bit for flat. It's definitely not trading the way. I mean, that 410, we could have just waited and got that. I know. What do you have? You have 401. So yeah, we don't have the best prices here, but yeah, hopefully, you know, I mean, we're playing this for a move down. It's not, you know, this is not something that if you're going to give it 10 cents, let's now try to give it that 10 cents. Like, so I am bidding 94 to get out of something, but then I have a much bigger bid at O's, 90s, sorry, $3.90. And then we'll see if we do get that flush coming through on...
SoFi's breaking out.
Yeah, and on that note, good thing we talked a little bit about finance quickly. I just want to give another update. We did get another 39 flat, but this time it was 39.04 bid there on Affirm. So we did get some more out. This has been an absolutely fantastic morning, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir. And, SoFi. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, SoFi. We talked about this last week. If SoFi were to break the channel to the upside on the daily, we liked it to the long. This is it breaking and consolidating above. So obviously I wasn't here the last couple of days, but you can see, failed at $8.25 above $8. If the buyers can come in, now there's some buying right now, but if the buyers can hold above $8.25, I'm not seeing it yet, then I want to go long on SoFi. Otherwise, the long's at 8. Palantir just came back into 7.
Yes, sir.
What's interesting is it just came all the way off of the 18 level, from the 18 level to 17, and now screaming back into 17.5. The previous support was about 17.60. So if it's going to hold this all the way back to the upside, you could have one of those rubber band plays where it bounces off 17 even, and then suddenly if it regains support, this could be at $18 again. That previous support level on Palantir, 17.63-ish. So that's where I want to be short until, and if it cannot hold on to that, then it could be back at those lows. Nio I thought was going to be a bit of a bigger deal. Nio's not really moving just yet. I like 17.50, so I'm not going long in the 60s just yet. I feel like SoFi is the one that can set up if it can regain the 8.25 level. Otherwise, I wait for $8.
Yeah, we will ring the register, spin it out a little bit, and get the heck out of Palantir right now. That move was dramatic. It was early. We also have another huge move on Affirm right now. We're 50 cents in the money on Affirm. This has been, again, we said this yesterday, whether or not it's Obi sitting beside me or Neil sitting beside me, you still got to, you know, trade the same way, look at what you're doing, and it's good to have Neil here a little more aggressive, I think, on some of these trades. So we'll wait to see what happens. I'm going to shout out Obi there on the back and see what happens with Amazon coming up soon. I have no idea if he's in it or not. Maybe he's in the Apple short. Yesterday we talked about Apple with Obi. And 193.50. Wow. Oh man, we have these bad wicks. Okay, look at that. That's why we talked about that Apple short. We knew that with the market coming back down, that this could be back in. It's now at the 200 period moving average for Apple. Definitely worth having a quick look on that one. With this market tanking though, we just bounced off on Affirm. I was bidding 69. It just went, that's where the 50 period is. It just went to 75 and bounced. So I'm going to reaffirm my bid down there and put it over to, okay. Well, it's at 80 right now. I was going to say, let's bid 80. And there it is right now. Let's spin the money for Affirm. It's another 40 cents. We just get that bid there. So we short this name. Nice downside play. Palantir as well. Maybe Palantir just stopped moving. I don't know, went to 1770 or so and stopped. Could be a decent level to reshort this name right here.
Well, speaking of decent levels, wow for ARM at 65.
Oh man, yeah, that was.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen ARM at $65, this is ARM at $65, and look what it just did. Once again, this is pulled right back off of that level. There is some potential support here at 62.5. I think that could be worth a bit of a trade. I was looking for a breakout above that level. It just hasn't happened. Palantir is starting to level off, but I want us. We're at 938 here. Here quickly. I don't want to get off ARM. Here's Palantir. If it doesn't hold that pre-market support level, this is where you'd expect a bit of a rollover. But if it doesn't, this could be stair-step to the upside. And then suddenly a break through 18 would look pretty good. For now, it's still looking like a short. Nvidia just broke support as well. down 470, and Apple is screaming to the downside. The shorts are certainly winning. Apple about to get to a key support level, but that arm trade, it's wow. It could have just been sitting in this short, obviously, but now we have to look to see if it can take the next level down. That's at 62.5 zone.
All right. Not only did we trade Palantir quite well there, we also reloaded. And now we're short again. So here we go, man. Now we're short at 52 again. It's down to 40s. Let's just put a bid there, see if we can get it. We're on a paid gateway. I should probably go on something free. We just missed it. Okay, hopefully it comes back in. But we just got a 45 bid off of, it's only a 52 short again here. Let's see if it continues to go down. But again, man, just reload that short. We just talked about this 70, and there it is again right now. Slap the faces around here as we talked about this short on Palantir. Let's see if it gets that flush one more time back in right now. Plug Power still doing a little bit of a dance for us right now as well. That's
Just chilling.
Not doing, literally not doing anything. We're bidding 94. I said it stopped at 95 a couple times, but it will break that. It'll break that. Have faith on that one as here comes the market. And remember, I said this. We tweeted it out. It's on the sticky note. I said this should be a relatively flat day. Well, when we said that, we were down here. So there's the economic numbers busting us through, and here's the market coming right back in to where we were before. So the right play was the short, not the flat, but here comes the short, and here comes the pain. Can we possibly get another dollar club right here with Affirm? 38.20 would be that club. Let's see if it comes in. 70 cents in the money on Affirm. A dime piece on Palantir, but we already took 50. And Plug Power finally starting to move a little bit, breaking through 95. We're waiting for that 94. Today, once again, is a good day, Adara.
Yeah, some of these payment adjacent names catching early strength, including Upstart up about 6.5% right now. We also have Square up about 3.5% as well, guys.
Yeah, we'll get, oh wow. We'll get to Square in a second because that's an interesting one when you look at that on the daily chart. But Plug finally making a stair step to the downside. We took as long as it's underneath 425, looking short. It showed you the high in the pre-market at 410 and then came under. That's the first short. I said once there was sellers underneath $4, which did eventually happen, would add to it, not subtract. And then when it broke down, got into the low 90s here. I just got a couple of legs out there. 93 filling for me on Plug Power. So if it can hold 410, we'll continue to take the stairs to the downside. But Square, block, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. It's going to move with crypto. So if crypto's going to hold up, which last I checked it still was, let me just double check my chart.
Bitcoin is absolutely ripping. Oh, no, sorry, it's 44 again.
We just broke 44,000 to the downside.
Yep.
That makes me not love chasing a breakout in Square. I want to see support come back into BTC because this has been stair-stepping with it, but this should be regarded as a strong stock. Above 66, I want to look for reasons to get long when I see it breaking out on the daily. But with Bitcoin pulling back in, maybe I should wait for a chance to get long in front of that 66 even. I think Apple could be the play that comes in here next. Not at support, but it was like a quadruple bottom in here at 192.65. I think we have a chance to get there. If 193 breaks, I'd be looking for a long into the 50s and then trying to get back to that 93 level. So Palantir just came and gave me one profit take for 10 cents. Plug might be getting a reload opportunity as well. There was one more thing I wanted to get to. It was Uber. I know, he gave me a plain cup as well. Usually Rob gives us like a interesting.
Thing is, the coffee this morning is not that warm, so I think there's something broken with the $12,000 machine.
Not warm?
No, it's not that warm.
Usually I'll burn my tongue, and it's not burning my tongue.
You know what I'm saying?
Uber catching a bit of a bid. Nice one off 58. So Uber holds on to previous resistance as support. Generally speaking, when I see that, I want to favor the stairs to the upside when you hold support and then break out the top. So 58.75 or so on any kind of a dip. The market goes down and stock goes up. That means it's relatively strong. I try to keep it simple.
Yep, exactly. That's we've talked about our strategy. You guys have wanted to know. I told you it's relative strength and weakness and support and resistance. There's absolutely nothing else that I'm using. So that's what my strategy is, and I hope you guys have yours as well. You know, it's a good strategy as well. Thank you so much, Rob, for a reload on the water as well. Look at Snapchat. Like, I'm going to face slap this one, guys. I don't know if you guys followed me on this trade or not, but we're long like at $10.50 or something. So 50% move in Snapchat. I cannot believe that this is at $15 right now. So, like, I mean, this has been, look at this. like finally one, not finally, we've been in a couple of these, but this is a nice one. We have not gotten anything out on this name. We talked about possibly getting some out when we were in this high there, but that was during the show. And then we took it out. And since then, it's just been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stair stepping all the way up. Now this one has a lot to go. The reason why I bought it, it hasn't happened yet. I thought it was a buyout candidate. So, but right there,
it could still happen.
still could happen, yeah. But I mean, that's $16 right now. That's going to be obviously a level of concern going all the way back to June of 2022. So, you know, we're running into this area. Just like I took off Shopify in the high 60s or mid to high 60s, they're now at 74. I feel like this is probably a profit spot right now for Snapchat. It wasn't in my, I'll have to double check. I hope it's not in my long-term account, but hopefully it's in the tax-free savings as like a swing trade. But again, we had bought it here at this level of 10. On that earnings call. And then it did dip into 8. So we did hold this thing 20% against us. So to now have 50% winner, probably worth taking. All right, Palantir, we're going to give some back because we just made that move all the way up. Let's take a piece out here at 62 if we can. It seems like it's resisting a little bit now.
There's a refresher at 63 and then at 65.
Yeah, I just got some out there at 64. I did put a bid at 63. There it is. Yes, sir. Okay. I just got some out. I am going to get some more out here. I do not want to give back what we've already made on Palantir. So obviously it's not acting the way I thought it would with the market coming back down. We did not expect this to go back up. We're short 59. We just covered I just told you, we covered some at 64, some at 62, then some at 59 right there. Here it goes, 58, so still there. So there it is, a nice little bump back down again there for Palantir. You know, somebody's in here buying. I'm not gonna give any, what? I'm not going to give any suggestions on who it may be, but right there, 1760 is not breaking, as you guys can see, clear as day. So I just keep on getting some out down here in the low 60s. I don't believe in this. Let's try to hold something for the dream. So like right now, we're short at 59. I'm bidding 61, and I'm on Arca Gateway and still not filled. This is why sometimes you don't want to go on paid.
It's filling
gateway.
SJ.
I know it's filling everything. The thing is, it whooshed down to 59, so I was like, let me get rebates for it, but that didn't happen. Okay, so I just want everyone to understand the strategy here. I'm taking a 4 or 5 cent hit on about half of the position, meaning this needs to get into 50 or so in order to make money, but there it goes right now. We'll face slap that out. That's why we got out of that half. There it goes. We'll give some back on that move back up for Palantir. It's a good thing we hit that short pretty early there because it's a fail for me on that reload.
I just covered, so what you were saying about the 60, there was a seller at 65 and a buyer at 60. So for me, when you have a 5 cent range like that at a key level with bamboozlement, if it breaks to the upside, it almost feels like a long at that point. I'm not in the long because I was still favoring the short trade, but now that you've resolved to the upside, I think that could be a wipeout bottom with the stairs to the upside. I was able to get SoFi, made the nice little dip back in here. Look, it broke 825, which was that high from Monday. It came back and held a higher low, at least temporarily. I got 22s on a bounce off of 20 even. So if SoFi, I don't know why Sharif said 22s, as if that was a weird price. I want to add to this position. If it breaks out the top, I want to look for something in the 820s, low to mid 820s if we can get more. If this does not hold on to the teens and we can get the you-know-what out of Dodge on SoFi. Uber is still strong. Uber is strong. We talked about Square being strong as well. I might not get that dip buy into Uber. That's not going to happen anymore. Let me just cancel that on Uber. I don't think I'm going to get 58.75. Maybe I'll look for the 59. Stairs to the upside on Uber. 2.5% into a market that's showing you weakness. Nvidia does not hold above 472. Like that was, to me, that was the big level that needed to hold the open. It did not. For any kind of a long play, I needed that to hold. I can look back at that double top from yesterday, maybe the 65 as a dip buy, but much more interesting if you get 458 for that one. So SoFi's still looking okay. I didn't get a chance to add to it, but it just broke 30s. So on the way to 850, I'm going to take some off in the low 30s and see if I can't buy back into the 20s here on SoFi. Still want to be trading ARM, but it's, again, 65 was a big level. It needs to take out this 62.5 support zone to set the short up again. After the fail at 65, I am now looking short.
All right. So yeah, you want to talk about somebody making a little bit of a crazy move there. Affirm just went pretty haywire to the upside. So we're waiting still for 40s to come into play here, but it's going off right now upside on Affirm. We wrote down that we like this short. Actually, we didn't write it down. This is a trade from yesterday, but it's hitting those levels. We're just short right here at 60. So, well, 63s. So we're just short right now. We've already captured, we got out of 60% of this. We got a nice little fill down there at 38.75. But it's up $1 since that last fill. So yeah, man, we went short again. I'm bidding something around 50s, see if we could take a piece out, and then hopefully we'll be able to capture something else here on Affirm if it does make a move back. And then I'm starting to bid into here into 30s. Anyways, it's gonna, if it goes down, we don't have any problems because we're short. Okay, so let's wait to see if that works out for us now. Yesterday, actually, let's just double check in on Nio. Like, why have I not gotten in on that one
It's
yet?
not doing it.
All right, I'm canceling that. I thought Nio would absolutely fly. I did have 780 as a break long, but since that's not even coming close right now, and this is not enough momentum for me to do anything on a break. So we'll wait for Nio to give us some sort of a play, and we'll see if Adara has some news for us.
Yeah, Sentinel, S is the ticker here. Sentinel-1, sorry, up about 18% after really strong Q4 revenue guidance yesterday. They reported earnings after close. Keep an eye on Sentinel, guys.
Upstart.
I'm going to go to Tim Hortons.
Well, you obviously just mentioned Affirm. Upstart, which is adjacent to it, I suppose, is the best way to think about it, making a breakout in a big way, almost 10% to the upside. That's not even a good pun, but it is what it is. Look at 36 here. If this breaks out at 36, this is like a join them. If you can't beat them, join them. 36 is big resistance. It's a wide gap to the upside on the daily. It's a double from that level, so it's pretty significant. I think 39.5 is also a level there. So it's at 36 now. I need to see the buyers step up above it. Once they do,
a lot of these stocks
it's got to look long there. So I'm into SoFi. I just got some in the low. I got some more in the 820 area. So I had 823s, and I got 22s. I picked some up at 23 and 24. But this one looking really strong. The buyer's starting to come in above. Give me some teens. Give me, always get. So I find if you just say, like when you're bidding and you're trying to capture the bid, like it was just at 21s, if you just say gimme, sometimes the market will completely ignore you because obviously you shouldn't trade like that. But I just got in at 36.17. Because I'm taking out, like I'm getting long at a high on a breakout trade, I want this to work right away. If it's not working right away, I'm out if it gets back underneath like 90s. It's a relatively tight stop there because we're chasing a $3 move here on Upstart. I almost said Shopify, but Upstart.
Yeah, we just got a little bit out of Affirm there because Affirm did test our level. But look what we just did, man. We got into Shopify again. So let's go. Let's spin it. We're now 20 cents in the money on Shopify as we worry a little bit now about our Affirm. Affirm just went right up there into the 40 level, almost stopped us out before falling back just a little bit here. I'm going to take a little bit more out here on Affirm and give back some of that profit that we made earlier and just be wrong on Affirm. Here it is right here, sorry. There it is. So it just came back and we got an 80 bid there because if it breaks 40, we're out. So that came real close to doing that. And I do think it does break 40 at some point. I mean, it's right there right now. It's not rocket science steak. All right, so there goes Shopify. Shopify went right back into VWAP again. So there's the long at 30. There's an out at 50. Did we get 50 or did we get higher than that? I think we got 50 flat. So now we'll wait for that play. I was sort of thinking we could take out the top. There's a lot of names really starting to go right now, like a lot of them. So
Plug just
there, yeah, see, so there goes Plug. I actually got long on Plug. Let's get out of that immediately if we can. As we got long on the stuff that we got out of upside. So we'll see if we can get that fill at 11s now. Probably that's going to be the top because that's where I got out, so it wouldn't surprise me. Yep, there it is. So that may be the top or not. I don't know. We'll see on that one. But for right now, Plug, there you go. We're out now at 10s. So that was that. I don't know, maybe a nice little move. We said that's 28% short float, so we will slap the fail on that. Our net is complete. Wow, there goes Shopify again. Our net is completely good today because we did have that nice Palantir trade, and we do have the Shopify trade on board right now. Let's go. Nice little hit right there up for Shopify. We did get another piece out just now back at 50. So, all right, all is well here, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show and having some good luck trading here today as well. We did get another piece out on Affirm, not another one, but a piece out at 80. Let's see if this one falls down even further. That's really the only thing that we're looking at right now. We've got back into plug by accident. So let's wait to see where this goes. And actually, let's just punch out. That was a bad one there. We got our 11 filled. So did our 10. So that's why we're in that one. Waiting now just for Affirm and Shopify to do something.
So a couple of things here. One, once 10 broke on plug, I'm out. But I still think 420 can be a resistance. That's this level here on plug. So if it does get another 10 to 15 cents higher, I would look for an entry off that level. You just saw Upstart go absolutely. I mean, it was already making a big move. It broke 36, got to 36 half. Selling arm immediately came in there, so I took 2/3 out. It's a breakout style trade that I had to give to the teams. If I'm going to add to this position on the way up, as I said, it had for the breakout trade, it had to hold 90. Now I'm looking back at the previous high. So the previous high, 35.75. I'm out of 2/3 of it. So in this particular case, I want to wait for it to get down to 35.75. If it can hold a consolidation there, then I'll add to the position with the stop at the same place. So I've moved the stop back because I got profit, and now I'm holding a smaller piece. But it needs to hold on to that 75 level if I'm going to re-engage the long trade. I don't think we're done with some of these short ideas, though. This market might be bouncing. Remember, it's bouncing underneath 16,000. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You're bouncing underneath the resistance level. Intel didn't quite get down to that support at 41.5, but I should always pay attention when I draw lines on the chart. I had resistance marked off on Intel and did nothing with it. I wasn't even here on Monday, but I had this level 42.5 marked off, and it was good on Monday. It was just good at the open, and I just didn't even pay attention to it. I only looked at my daily chart. So if 4150 breaks, Intel's in a world of trouble. I still think ARM could be the one that's the bigger mover, but it's holding support pretty nicely. This needs to take out 62.5 on Intel. SoFi is still okay. I was able to get more in the 820 range. Now it needs to bounce back up into those tops. It's 3% to the upside, relative strength in SoFi for now. That's a big if. I mean, anything can happen. Nio is finally making a move here. There we go. Yeah. Now Nio's going. I need to see Nio break out the top. If I'm not getting 750, it takes out the top. We're taking the stairs higher on Nio. I want some longs in the 70s that I can give back to like a 770 or 765. There's room to $8. If you can risk 10 cents, Nio can get to $8 in my opinion. So I want something in the mid 70s where I can get out just underneath 70 even and then look for a move into $8. Nio finally waking up here.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty good hold here for us on Affirm as it came all the way back. So we'll have to wait to see what happens here with Affirm. And we just got a bid at 60 there. So that's, 63, sorry. I'm trying to figure out share sizes and stuff because we want to be very specific on what we're trying to do here. Okay, so looks like Shopify is going to break. It's good because Affirm's going down, but Shopify is going down also. We took Shopify as the long. We know Shopify was downgraded today. I just thought there was a chance this could get going, and so we are long now at 13s, which is not great. We'll put another offer up in the 20s in case it does get going a little bit, but we're here for the trade, so let's see if it goes. Where the out was, because we're taking 20s here, my out on Shopify was sort of, we have some of these pre-market levels, so something coming into, we're flat on it now, it just went up to 08, so if it's right here, you want to get out for a 5-cent hit, you could do that. I'm going to still stay in it. We do ring the register a little bit here with NIO. There it is, man. We talked about taking some shares. So we only went half shares that we would have gone initially, but still a big trade, breaking through 780. We took the long, we're long at 779.50. There it goes, let's go. It's Sticky Note Nation, stand up. Nice move there for this name as it continues its run a little bit higher. And again, if you want one trade, I mean, we literally said right here, Nio 780 long. Let's see if this one has enough room to breathe here. Back up to the upside here, it goes 89s. All right, our out is back in the 70s. So now that we've got a dime piece on, that's going to be a good trade for us. Let's see if Nio wants to touch that $8 mark. This is exactly where we said this name would go if it broke. So it's got to get, there it is. So let's go. It's got to get through 70s. It just did that, now 791. Here we go, man. It's another one here for us. It's NI to the O. Good trade there. And then Shopify, figure your damn self out and try to rip if you can to the upside right now. But that's all. So Shopify, Nio, a couple good ideas. Let's see if Shopify works.
It's a little surprising to find that right now the longs have been easier, the ones that you've been able to find in this market, which just failed 16,000. But that's what the market's giving you at the open. So you take what you can get, not what you want to have happen, but what is happening. Nio broke out. Obviously, this $8 is the problem. I tried to get some at 92s there. I did not get filled at 90. I'm just going to leave this order at 92. If we get back above 90, I think it has a chance to fill. SoFi continues its move to the upside, so why not? Here we go. That's the first time I said it. I'll probably keep saying it. It's been in my head all week. I was in Halifax saying, here we go, over and over again. Thank you, Sharif and the Dallas Cowboys. SoFi high of the day is now 832. I want this to 850. That's what I'm thinking on SoFi. 850, it's the next level up on the daily chart. It's nothing crazy. There's your wick to 850. You're breaking out at $8, so that's where I think you can get to. You try to not make things too complicated. Upstart is now at 36.75, so that continues to go higher. Insert any pun you want up there. But Upstart on an absolute tear, 11% to the upside. Sometimes it's about just find relative strength and weakness. When you see the market fail 16,000, find something that's strong if you're looking for long trades instead of catching a falling knife, if at all possible. I can tell you that Uber has gotten away, so we're probably not going to get that long. Yeah, Uber got away from us a little bit, actually hitting almost $60 on Uber. But I'm not sure the shorts are done.
Like that.
Like, look at the actual NASDAQ right now. Like, you're still failing 16,000, consolidating at the bottom. If the next thing we do is take out 15.92 and break lower, that just tells me find a weak big tech name and look for the short.
Okay, so right there, Shopify does make the move down. Luckily, we were able to get some out when it bumped up into 73 there, but it still will be a losing trade there. Shopify, my biggest loser right there, Shopify, for the day from a percentage, from a net standpoint, I should say, because there it goes back down. Affirm, we're just going to wait for this one, man. I mean, hopefully it will come back in. I do have a bid near 50, and that's it. And then hopefully we can get something into the 30s as this one will make its move back in. And then, of course, like I said, man, we have a decent size here on NIO, so every time it keeps on doing this little dance, I keep getting some out in and around this area. So we'll put another offer here as it's coming back into 87, and there it goes. We'll take some out there at 87, and my next offer is 94. So we will wait for all of that. Fun times ahead over at the big desk with Adara.
The market, the Qs here a little bit higher on the day. We did have some economic data earlier in the morning, so USA imports came in a little bit higher than the previous at 323 billion. October exports a little bit lower than the previous, so 258.8 billion versus 261 billion previous, and non-farm productivity a little bit higher than the estimate, so 5.2% versus 4.9% quarter over quarter. In terms of individual stocks moving, PayPal actually up on the day. Initially was trading lower after a downgrade from Bank of America. We also have XPeng actually higher on news that it's working with Volkswagen to make significant progress on the development of 2 B-class battery EV models. So keep an eye on this one as well. Last but not least, Dave & Buster's plays the ticker for this one, up about 12% after its earnings last night. So they did have a miss for sales and an inline EPS, guys. Sponsored by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
So the market's breaking lower, and okay, I just got an out on SoFi. I just got hit at 92 on Nio. That's going higher. But guess what else is breaking out? Rivian is trying to take out last week's high. 18 quarter here, big level for Rivian if it can take that one out. And I did find some relatively weak names. Apple breaking, actually at support. Meta looking very weak. Those are 2 names to look for some shorts if we break the low on the futures. But first things first. I mean, Rivian is at a monster level. If it can start buying above 18.25, then I want to start looking for the long here. It's a long at the high of the day. It almost has to work right away. But wow, it's been a powerhouse for some names. And if you're wondering, Tesla just pulled back. So Tesla is up less than Rivian and just pulled back off 246. So Rivian is a little bit stronger than Tesla as I'm looking at it right now.
All right, guys. Ooh, we did it. We did it. We did it. Oh, man. Affirm finally just came right back into VWAP. We held for it. We got that VWAP print at 36, man. So that was That was a big one because we were very, very close to getting the register or our next rung before someone's phoning me here. No, thank you. All right, so I don't know who it is.
Buy it.
All right, so here we go, man. Just looking at some of these trades again coming through. It's been, obviously it's been a good day here trading. We've talked about sort of some of the trades that we're looking for, but Nio continues to do that. Tonight is GameStop. So we will go long on GameStonk right now and see what happens with GME. So again, just off of that 1550 level, we went long there. I'm waiting to get a little bit longer if we can get back into this level. Let's see what happens downside now on GameStop back into 15. So I just want to see. This is part of the game. You want to take trades, see where they pan out. We do obviously have a catalyst here with GameStop happening tonight. So let's wait to see if we do get some sort of a push through on this name. And yeah, let's watch out for GameStop here tonight and see if we get a little bit of a carry forward from the open market into the report tonight. It's not a huge short float. We've talked about that a couple times.
What is it now? 15?
Yeah, I think it might even be lower than 15. I will double check that, but
I'll get it.
yeah, okay. So anyways, I'm not playing it for that. It's just we've seen so many of these names.
Whoa, 23.
23, okay. I feel like that's been updated. I don't think it was that high before. But anyways, GameStop, and it might be an accelerated short float because of earnings. So let's wait to see what happens. We're flat on the trade, but I did want to bring it to everybody's everyone's attention because it's a brand new trade for us. That Affirm bounced. I mean, we were like, we did it, but we got out. But then Affirm's like, nah, we're going back up. You didn't do anything. So now let's put another bid back down there and see if we're lucky enough to have this thing fall down. So that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to find out what exactly is up with Affirm. And right now, nothing's up with it except for the stock price because it's trying to break 40 again. So let's wait to see. It's Affirm. It's trying to move around. If we get a bid down here at 50, we'll take it as it's coming back just a little bit. And then Palantir kind of holding everyone's beer right now, not doing a whole heck of a lot at these levels.
Yeah, so there was a seller in Rivian that just got broken. You'll see here, we got that. I got 28s in front of the quarter mark, and then there was sellers at 31 and 32. It dipped down and held support, but I'd already taken a third out there, and then took more out when it bounced off 1850. Now we're just going to go for the ride. It's a weird thing when the market's at the lows and the longs are printing to the upside here. So that's what it is. Rivian now making a move. It gets to 1875. Wow. I actually want to get out there.
Is there news there?
I didn't see anything. I reserve the right to be wrong about that, but I saw nothing specific to Rivian. It's a slower move on SoFi, but it did give a 30 fill. I have offers at 32 and 35 on the way up. I'm almost all out of Nio because, I mean, Nio got to 95 and pull back here. So I would hate for if 95 is the top, this is probably headed back to VWAP, which could be a reload spot because that's a pre-market high break. So this is, if pre-market high break was at 772, it could get all the way back in there. But this is now a double top at 795.96 on Nio. I'd love for it to break $8, but I think not taking profit in front of 8 would be foolish. You don't want to look that gift horse in the mouth. When you see a level like that, you trade a stock into that level, and then hopefully you get the break and be long into the break. Upstart is also continuing to run. It's weird. I didn't think I'd be all long at 10 o'clock, but what the market's giving us here. It just failed 37. Ugh, this one might be coming back in.
What, Upstart?
Upstart. Yeah, it looked like it was about to power through 37. I was thinking, where is the next place to go long on this thing? And all of a sudden, it looks a little bit different. This is a chase. I didn't get a 34 break. I didn't even get the break of the first high at 35.8. We took the 36 break to the long side. So if it gets back into 37, I'll consider taking this out. The market's at the lows right now. And I don't have a single short position on, but there is weakness over in Meta. Double top at 322. Now it's consolidating off of the bottom. That's exactly the thing that you look for. Not to pick on Meta, it's also at the 50 period on the daily at about 319. And this support has turned into resistance at 322. Well, ideally, I'd be short at 322. I can wait for that or wait for it to break and go red. If this goes red underneath 318, I think it's stair step down. If we pop back up to 16,000, Meta short at 322 looks like absolute gold.
Yeah, gold trading. Good trade there on Rivian. Good noticing that one
gold doing,
moving
though?
around to like insane amounts.
Currently, Cardano's up 10%.
Oh, I know about Cardano. I was actually checking the account today and was like, maybe we should retire. And then I realized I don't have that many coins. So yeah, we're not retiring. But yeah, Cardano, what a nice mover. It's altcoin nation.
Retiring is bad for your health.
Retiring is going to be bad for my health, yeah, for sure, because I will indulge in improper behavior, most likely. All right, so there we go right now. Cardano up 15% the last 7 days. It's at 44. I've been caught.
That was good.
Again.
That was great.
That was fantastic. And you guys like how I'm here. All right, so right there, Cardano, some great, Dogecoin, Avalanche, Polkadot, Polygon. This is it's not a Jordan Love era, it's an altcoin era right now as these are going ham. But so is Bitcoin, so is Ethereum. We had Brian Shannon on yesterday, obviously on the recap show there, as traders stay late, we talk about that. And he was that's way too long, that applause, by the way. Like, when is this gonna stop? Is that you that did that applause?
And then it stops abruptly.
That was pretty good. I like it, actually. But anyways, we'll have to wait to see. Oh, the one thing I want to see was HUD 8, because that one flipped over. Okay, so it's back down. So they reverse split the other day. So I wanted to see what was going on. Yeah, they went from 2 to 10 upside right there. So I just wanted to see if there was any follow through on that, and there really hasn't been. Its best day was the split day, as it went up to, as per usual, as it went up to $13. Now it's looking to take down some of those lows again, despite Bitcoin hovering around 44,000 right now and really not doing a whole heck of a lot. All right, here's Affirm. Let's go to Adair, then we'll talk about Affirm. Potentially.
Or not.
Or we will not go to Adair.
Yeah, so Rivian up about 7%. I did find some news on this one. So yesterday after the close, the CFO saying they're looking to introduce cheaper, lighter battery packs coming into 2024. Earlier, a couple weeks ago, the CEO was saying that they're looking to launch some new models do preview that early in 2024 as well. So lots to look forward to for Rivian, guys, up about 7%.
Thank you very much, Adair. Appreciate that, because I was looking at it like, what's going on here with Rivian? On the daily chart, there's a couple of levels to look right here at 1870.
Look at that.
Yeah, if we're turning 1870, I'm following my own sort of rules on these trades. Like, you have room to 1950, but 1870 was the highest open and support in there, and we just pulled back off of these levels. So that's me getting out, looking for the next trade. If it breaks 1870, I think there's a trade from 75 into 1925 as the next area. But Rivian, sometimes you got to buy high, sell higher. I don't know what else. It's crazy because you always want to get the best price, right? But the market was weak. It was breakout on Upstart. It was breakout on Nio. It was breakout on, Rivian was the last one. And it's a breakout on SoFi. That is not the way I thought this morning was going to go, but that's essentially what's been carrying it for me, was all these breakout trades. And sometimes it sets up. It's like I saw weakness in the market, yet everything on my list I was looking at key levels was all breaking them to the upside. So instead of, we just went long. It's what you got to do. So Nio is still going.
Yeah, are you guys seeing this Nio trade?
It's ridiculous, Nio. So it holds 750. It's stair step to the upside. Should have just got long at 7 even. As far as I'm concerned, should have just got long at 7. On my personal account I'm talking about, because it's been a good level the entire way. It holds support. It broke out the pre-market high at 770. Long over. It's broken 8. Next level is 850 on NIO.
Guys, right here, NIO, 780 long break. The only problem is we took half the shares that we actually wanted to. And we said, hey, it's going to go up to $8. So now that it broke through 8, let's do that. If you guys, I don't know who's looking at the sticky note or not, but like there it goes again. We had huge trades yesterday. We have them again today. The Palantir short right off the jump. This Nio long at, it's the number one idea. Plug short at 4. We got out at 410. Obviously, that was a bad one, but we were able to get a little bit of profit. Tesla hasn't hit yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the big one right there, NIO. Like I said, you don't have to be absolutely perfect every single day. Most days, we like to try to hit some of those numbers, but you don't have to. And for right now, it's Nio, and we just took, wow, okay. There's some size there at 10. Not that that's necessarily going to matter. It's done 30. There it goes. It's done 33 million shares, but wow, man, are we really ripping. This has been, if this is not, I mean, that's 780 right there. That is lucky enough to get that price. That is for sure. There goes Nio. Hopefully my guy Patrick over here is ringing the register on that one. It's a 780 long. It's a sticky note nation. So let's go. It's a nice trade. Let's just see what happens with Affirm. And then GameStop, you're definitely not hitting any registers if you're in this one yet, because it's not doing anything, dropping. Well, maybe we could try to get some more down here. We're willing to sort of not die on this sword, but it'll be too big of a hit than normal on games. It's not a hit yet, but if it does come back in, it will be one. And again, we're just holding it against this 15 because yesterday, near the close, we hovered around 15, didn't really break significantly lower. So right there, on earnings, let's see if GameStop wants to go. We're just gonna hold this long. And honestly, hopefully we're in it all day. That would be nice if that was the case. So right now we are getting more and more outs. The reason why we're getting multiple outs here on Nio is because, again, we didn't take as many shares as we had hoped early, but we did take enough. So there it is, another out for us at 810.
So I have a bad wick on Affirm, which just screwed my. You know what's crazy? I'm gonna make an adjustment on Affirm. I might have said in the chat that I was interested in the $40 level on Affirm, but this is a bad wick on the daily chart. So I zoom back in. The big level was at 39 on Affirm, and it's broken it out. I'm looking back up at this and kind of ask myself why I'm not looking at that for a breakout, but that's a mistake. What is not going to be a mistake is to be interested in C3AI today. They also report. Double checks, they report after the bell. This is $32 on C3AI. If 32 goes, I think it's squeeze potential. It's 35% short float. I feel like that's a bit of a theme. Today you have a lot of breakouts and squeezes when the market was weak. Call it what it is, but this is another one of those potential movers. It's only up 1.5%, but what I like about this is you got wipeout bottom that recovered yesterday, wipeout bottom through 30 that recovered again today. The next step would be to take out the local high through 32. Super strong move. The market's actually back and holding green, so the longs are looking even better now, but it's been all the longs paying off as we go to Adara at the desk.
Google on watch here, not super reacting to this news at this point, but Google Cloud has announced its new, they're calling it a hypercomputer, AI hypercomputer, basically a new flexible AI accelerator. So keep an eye on Google right now, guys.
Okay, I like that news there. All right, so we just talked about Affirm a little bit, and that idea, I mean, there goes through 40. So again, some shorts. The last one, NEPA, no working out, as we are really starting to make that move up right now. I am still like goo goo gaga over Nio, as that just, I mean, again, keeps on going, like 818. Oh man, oh boy, as our guy says over there, and we all know who that was. No, oh shoot, no, that's an Obi line. He always goes, oh boy.
But I tried to do that's the line from Quantum Leap, but he hadn't seen Quantum.
Yeah,
Quantum Leap's something even like I wouldn't expect you to get that either.
No, I haven't.
It's like that's old school.
All right, so.
By the way, the next.
Yeah,
there's a big level at 820 on. That's what I want to get to is this on NIO.
Yeah.
So from 8, if there's any weakness at this price level, I'm out of the trade. It broke out pre-market high. It got to 8. Hold some for 8. I'm getting the majority out in front of 8, as said, and then looking for this 820. Now it looks like 820 is holding. Not even going to wait for it. I just smacked a bid at 815. So there's the big level at 820. I just smacked a bid at 815. I'm out of this trade. It's all breakouts today. Like every single one of these things is breakout everywhere into a market which has done almost nothing. This is the thing about finding the right stocks to trade, because what has the market given you? If you were short, your best chance would have been to be short on that move in the pre-market to the upside, or maybe just sitting at the pre-market lows and catching a bid. That's all you could have done if you were trading the overall market. Instead, there's been breakouts in Nio. Upstart is still trying to go. Obviously, SoFi. I'm still in SoFi. Watch out, however, for we talked about C3AI, but watch out for Tesla to get itself going, because Tesla has a chance to break out yesterday's top as well. That would be explosive. 247-ish. I don't think it was exactly the high. What was that top? 46 something? 246.75 on Tesla. All right. I mean, if it breaks this double top, you don't want to stand in the way of Tesla when it's going.
No, you do not. All right. You know, we got back into Affirm. Now it's 20 cents back into the money for us. I mean, look, this has been a wild name. We just got some more bids at 40. I'm going to give this to that wick high. It just wicked up 240s or so. So let's give it a little bit more and see if it wants to fall back in for us or not. I mean, noticing the same thing there on Nio. We have multiple outs up there at 1840. I now have less than 10% left of this position, as that was a really good one again. And GameStop right now, what kind of a size is that on the bid? Okay, it's only 30,000. That got going again back, well, not got going, it went back to 1540. I guess that's nothing right now. I feel like you're just going to have to sleep on this one. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't know what's happening here. It doesn't seem to be doing anything today. If this starts going, maybe it'll start going in the afternoon as we wait for the earnings call to come through. But for right now, yeah, pretty sleepy times here in GameStop land. So let's just wait to see if there is some sort of a move on that one back upside. So we'll have to wait on that. Let's just double check on Tesla. I know Neil's on Rivian, but let's go over to Tesla. We can go back over to Plug Power as well. Tesla, nice high of 246. That reminds me of a level, I think. Isn't 246 something? We were there earlier yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday's high. So right into there again, another spot that we could have shorted off of a level from yesterday. Sometimes that continues to be a good strategy. Look for past levels right there. Okay, so there it is right now. Affirm just gave us another fill at 40. Let's try to hold for much more downside now. We sort of already broke out on this name. It's up 5%. Upstart also going. Let's give it a little bit of a shot here. That's going to be Affirm. See if it wants to work. Amazon, I think, is a short.
What the heck happened to this Sarah stock?
Yeah, Sarah's been moving. There was some news. I saw it on Benzinga here. I'll have to find out.
I guess that was a good line.
Focused. Yeah, aren't they a biotech or something?
Look at this. Yeah, oh my. It's a double out. It's a double from the break on the daily here at that 450.
She broke out on that one there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I don't
Congratulations
have it.
for sure.
I mean, I don't have it, but like this is the thing. Like on that daily chart, right at the open, it looks like it wicked the 450 and then broke out from that 450 level. So why isn't it halted? Like this is a 3-minute chart, and this is $7 to $10 right now. So my guess is if it breaks 10, you could go into a halt, but it hasn't actually halted yet, which is weird. From that to this, which is Meta VWAP fail.
Really?
Okay, it hasn't failed VWAP yet. I mean, it's a little bit early in this move, but it tagged VWAP at 320 and is putting in a lower high. So yes, I like 322, but if we do stair step down, I do think some of big cap tech is where you'll look for the short because that's what's been falling. So if we break this, starting to come down already, I want the short in front of 320 or at that 320 level. On Meta, the other thing to watch is going to be Apple. Apple tagged that support level from the afternoon, from yesterday in the afternoon, and bounced right off it. It's heading right back in lower. This also feels like it's a good support level. Maybe you can scalp that, but this also feels like a bit of a VWAP short to me on Apple. Apple's already red into a market that's still up 0.2% as we go to the small cap recap with Adair.
Quite a few runners so far this morning, including MicroAlgo, MLGO. This one is moving on news of plans to establish a postgraduate training base in China. So keep an eye on MicroAlgo, up about 90% right now on the day. We also have Sarah, this one we've been talking about quite a lot. SERA is the ticker, up over 300% on news to announce data safety monitoring for a specific study related to efficacy. So keep an eye on this name. Last but not least, this one was on the watch list here. Zyversa, ZVSA. This is another therapeutic related name, trading higher on news of a pathway for diabetes, some treatment there. So keep an eye on these names, guys.
All right, we got a big short on again, man. We're going to be actually net positive on Affirm if I just cover this right now. It just came right back in, and we got a really good short up there at 20s. So I've just been covering. It just went into the 80s there, back into the 20-period moving average. Back into the 20-period moving average, and there's a whole bunch of covers, man. Like. That just all of a sudden our net just started going ham right there on that. All right, what's not going up is GameStop. That's back down into $15. So we're now loaded up there at $15.30, watching out for that drop off coming in. But we do have this, so let's go like that. It's a new position alert right now, and it's AMZN. We shorted it. We just covered down there. We're short at 90s. We just got some good covers in the 70s right there. So that was a 74. We just got an 80 there. We also got a 75. So a couple decent covers. And again, why are we short Amazon? Trying to do what we think we do best. And I mean, the market's going to tell us if we do it good or not. It seems like I don't trade GameStop well because that's hurting us. But right now, there's Amazon underneath the 50, underneath VWAP, underneath the 200 with a negative print and the market correlation, right? So the market's coming down, the market's under VWAP. This is a red name. I like the short there. So we'll see if that can print. But
Do you, though?
I think I do.
Amazon, yeah.
On Amazon, I do for sure. Because there it goes. Amazon, nice 20 cents in the money on a decent position. But what is a decent position that's not working out for us here is GameStop. Maybe if we do this, I know this is for AMC, but here comes GameStop right into 15 bucks. I'm just going to make sure I still have that stop. So guys, unfortunately for me, if you guys want to hold it all day, fine. But come on, here it comes. It's really bleeding back in. Wow, Amazon, what just happened to Amazon?
Market just took the lows.
Yeah, GameStop, I mean, whatever, guys. GameStop, we're going to be responsible for all our trades. That's going down. But Amazon right now, you guys know that we're a big cap trader. And right there goes Amazon right back into the downside, man. So be it, right there. This is a monster trade. It's Amazon. It's now 40 cents. And there's two, you can see that there's two fills here. Like there's double fills right there once we broke it. So there it goes. Nice downside move for Amazon. Just wish we weren't in GameStop, but we got to be responsible for everything. And by the way, there goes Affirm as well, back into the 80s. Let's ring some more registers on Affirm. Man, this day is getting juicy.
So I just made sure we got out for profit on the last of our long trades. The market just took out the bottom. So SoFi just got out here at 825. We're along at 22s and 23s. And then Upstart just came out as well. So I had a reload on Upstart at 36. It got into 36.40s and then retook that low of the day. So we're out of that one. Meta just took the low. Oh, Apple just broke. That's more important. Apple just broke support through that 192.5. So I want the short underneath here at that 142.5. We did try to grab Meta off that 320 level. Mentioned this to you off failing at VWAP. It's already breaking the low of the day. So I'm out of the longs, rang the register on all of them. Pretty much all of the longs worked. Some of them followed through. Obviously, Rivian followed through a little bit better than SoFi did, but they are now all bleeding with the exception of Rivian. Rivian just bounced again. Rivian's strong today. So I might have gotten out of Rivian, but I don't want to give up the notion of this still being a long. It just held a dip back into the previous breakout price, which was $18.35. So Rivian for now still looking decent on the long trade, but Apple taking out. This is also the 3 trillion area on Apple. I don't remember the exact price, but underneath.
Oh, it's over 3 trillion now, I think.
No, but I think it might
back
be.
in now today, yeah.
I don't remember the exact price, but I know it's somewhere under 193 that it's going to be less than 3 trillion. So now that you're breaking down 192.5, I'm looking for the short in the half, and there's room for this to get down into 191. So there's some room here if I can pick up a good price. You're now through 15.9 on the NASDAQ. That has me looking for shorts. But this is when it broke and I scrambled over to try and get the short. I don't want to chase it too far. I want something closer to the 35, 240 range. Thank you for the super chat, Nathan C. Love the show. What do you think of DPST? I mean, Dipset's pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. Anyone that's not into Dipset, no, I think you're looking at the regionals. I'm assuming you're not making a hip hop reference, but this is that.
Most likely not.
This is the 3X regional banks. I don't trade leveraged ETFs, day trade them at least, but you can see a strong, I can spot a strong uptrend. When you find one, technically it looks pretty good. I'm assuming this is what you mean. If there's something else as DPST, then you guys can correct me. But if you look at this breaking 72, now consolidating and then breaking again off the same level. So there's your consolidation and then another breakout. Stairs to the upside. If it dips in, 77. I always just look for the first obvious thing, which would be previous resistance turning into support. So that would have to pull back into 77. If it consolidates higher, that's even more bullish. So it's in the midst of a stair step to the upside and breaking out. I see everything about it looking pretty good. Back to that 72 level. I mean, obviously you got some resistance in the 80s, but if you're long in front of 72, you're probably not too worried about that. My concern right now will be finding a way to get into Apple.
Yeah, 99 problems, shorts ain't one right now. The long is the problem for GameStop, but look what Amazon just did. like, Amazon is by far now my #1 stock on the day. Well, I shouldn't say that. I got to cover the rest of this, but you know, as long as we don't rip back, you know what? Let me cover a little bit more right now before, as I say that. Palantir's still there. Palantir's still there, but for right now, we'll ring the register with some Amazon. It's close. Amazon and Palantir are now equal, but if we continue to get out, then the unrealized will start to be realized, like it was just there. 70 cents in the money on that one. Affirm says, sorry about that today. I know it was a little bit of a rough ride, but there's Affirm. These are both 70 cents in the money. So really, really happy with the way this is working out. But here we go, man. We are almost out right now. You know what? GameStop, it's going to trigger below $14.94. So I actually just changed that. We'll get out to 75% of it right now, but this has just not been good. Like that, this bid right there is really probably what we, so that was small. We took the same amount of shares. This is why our average price is 30 because our last fill there is at 15. But right now it's going to be about a 40-cent hit on Affirm, on GameStop as it just continues to make a move down, which completely sucks. This has been a missed up. Did we call for a dare at any point or?
We're close.
No? Okay, good. I just didn't want to keep blabbling on here if we're waiting for her. So we're close for her. 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 will be crypto. Sorry, I didn't know if there was some news about something there. Looks like GameStop's going to continue this movement down, guys. A breakthrough 14.94, we're out. If that's the capitulated, we're going to get out of 75%, hold 25%. But look at this. It's going to break in just a matter of time as this Boss X continues to follow it. It is SSR as well, which is helping this move down. You can't get, like, SSR you think wouldn't help a move down, but you see like these guys are just going to keep following it until someone buys. See, and right now, see, there it is. There's the, okay, someone finally bought it, but it doesn't really matter. It just joined right back up there. So we are now out, but did we just get out at the bottom? We said that could happen. Let's watch and see what happens with GameStop. But yeah, bad move back in for us there on GameStop. Took out that 14.90. So that's a fail. We'll slap that on and we don't have a problem talking about the loser there with GameStop. Sort of knew we were in trouble there, but some of the other trades keeping us afloat here today.
Wow, Palantir, where this bounced.
Again, right?
Sometimes, remember what we talked about when Palantir was at these 30s. So this 1730 area where it was trying to make a secondary move to the downside, it just bounced off the same place. So this is it's pretty simple how I want to approach this. Wipe out bottom. If it holds a higher low, I think you got longs in front of 1730, low 1730s. And if it breaks that down, you just jump to look for shorts maybe at the quarter level. So I'm going to have my eyes back into Palantir. Obviously, the market is trying to bounce here off 15.9. I'm short Apple. I'm going to give you we're going to go to crypto because it's now 10:30, but it's just to give you the idea for Apple. Apple loses the support level from yesterday. It also held that at the open. This is 192.65-ish. It broke that and held 50s. It broke underneath and couldn't get back above 65. So I'm short till it gets back above that 65 level, then I can worry about VWAP later. So Apple short is the new position for me. Rivian, I'm not happy with myself over Rivian because I should have gotten back into this. Now I have to find a setup for Rivian when I did not get the dip buy back into our original breakout price. That's a bit of a swing and a miss not to be back into this one to the long side as we go to the crypto update with Adara at the desk.
It's an interesting report from Reuters here. U.S. crypto industry law-based spending is set to break a new record for 2023. So far for the first 3 quarters of the year, this spending is at 19 million, compared to last year, which was a 16 million at this time last year. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we continue to watch this crypto rally. Bitcoin now just slightly below this 44,000 area, still very strong. As you can see on the daily chart here, we've had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to the upside. Looks like we might continue this today as well, as we have Bitcoin now just a couple dollars below this 44,000 area, up about 4.12% on the day. Ethereum still strong as well, up almost 2%, and generally lots of strength here across all of the coins. Cardano and Dogecoin notably really strong right now as well, guys.
Thank you very much there, Adara. You'll be happy to hear Cardano is still looking good, apparently. Oh my goodness, Rivian's now breaking. Why is this chart? Okay, it was now breaking 19, or at least attempting to break out that 19 level. I don't want to take a 19 break at 10:30. It's not the time of day that I like breakout trades. Next available dip, I got to look for an entry, and it'll be very likely off the previous high at 1875. So previous high, oh, it's this wick that's the problem. There we go. If it's this high at 1875, then I would look for the next bounce zone. But as I said, that's a fail. You know, like, well, you can be looking at something else, but it dipped right back into that consolidation level for a split second and gave you an entry. Plug. If I'm slapping another fail, it turned at 420. Didn't quite get to 425 previous close, but it turned at 420. Stair step, the next level was here at 412, so I'm short. If it's stair stepping down off the 420 level, I'm back into a short off the 412. So I'm risking about 5 cents plus slippage on this re-entry into Plug Power. Apple, we already went over. Rivian is going to haunt me. Should be in that long, there's no questions about it. One more to get to, and shout out to everyone that mentioned CCL. Brennan as well bringing CCL to our attention. And it continues its ride. 5% to the upside into a flat market. And look at this on the daily. Breakout at 17 even. There's room to $18 on this daily chart for CCL. And there has not been a single red candle on the 15-minute. It is all green and it's trending. If I'm trading something at lunchtime, if it's trending or the middle of the day, something trending is going to help. So this is another stock we should put in that strong bucket. I put this in the class with Rivian today as a strong counter trend stock because, I mean, the market is still stair-step to the downside till proven otherwise.
I can't believe Rivian's it's at 19 right now. Wow.
Is there another EV name going like
someone
that?
Just
like
mentioned,
Lucid?
I don't. I'll have to, maybe Lucid. Maybe. Who is this right here? What's up, Paulie D? Santa showed up early. Wow. Yeah, I'd say so. And it's been a good one for sure. Let me see if my kids are getting the new Oculus or not. Oh, Snapchat over 15. Okay. Yeah. That's a nice move. Wow, for Snapchat. Like, this was a name that I'm looking to get out of, so it's really nice to get this move upside right now as well. Snapchat starting to go, nice move upside. And another name that we recently bought, and we did this live on the show, we talked about this. We bought SoFi at 718, then we bought some more SoFi at 665. So the fact that this is at 830 probably needs to be relooked at here, as I will be rebalancing the portfolio a little bit as soon as 25 minutes from now. What's up, Adara?
So just an update on Block here. SQ up about 6%. So there was a comment here from the head of Think Investments, which is an investment firm in California. Basically, this person saying that they see Block Inc. doubling over the next 3 years. So keep an eye on Block, guys. Still up about 6%.
Great move for them. There's so many names into a flat market that have been breaking out. You're getting a good classic stair step if Nio holds this level quickly. There you go. So Nio, that's $8.20. It's back above $8. It actually held yesterday's high on that dip, which is $7.95. So good hold, at least for the buyers, above that $7.95. Next thing would be to stair step it back into the high of the day. So I want to look for a long back into this little wick bottom here at 793. If you can hold that throughout lunchtime, fantastic. Chris Arnst in the chat saying, look at Boeing in all caps. You don't have to put all caps in there. And then I wanted to get to this first from Alma Hamada because this is not the first time someone has been screaming about Disney today. Disney at the highs. Again, looking for relative strength in today's market has been paying off because anything that's breaking higher has been almost like easy pickings if you've had some of those long trades. And Disney, wipe out bottom, bounce off 90. The problem now is it's getting into a bit of a chop zone. However, that's 91.5, previous high 91.5. I'd look for 91.5 to buy the dip into this chop. So relatively strong stock, just watch out. It's going into a big-time chop zone on Disney. I don't want to buy 92 tops. And then the other one was Boeing. I'm always going to root for you, Boeing, because I haven't gotten all out there. Load. Blue Ocean, a great overnight market that's available to us at Day Trade the World, but not what I want to look at. What I want to look at today. I want to look at this on the New York, as I keep hitting enter over and over again. So big breakout through 235 on Boeing. 2% to the upside is not usually a chase stock, but this is what you care about. Boeing is straight up, and it's now getting to that 242, 245 resistance area. There's still $4 to $5 to go, so I think you got some room for it to continue, but I would not chase this past 240. There's lots of room to get to the 240 level. maybe 238 for lunchtime consolidation and bounce. I think I only want to look long in anything that's breaking out today, as long as it holds a breakout price. I just would not buy this over 240 when I look at the daily chart. And yes, when I checked, Lucid is also up. However, the difference between Lucid and Rivian is continuing higher after breaking out recent highs. Lucid did not get through recent highs. And it gets through this level in 3 cents. So this is my segue to Lucid 457 breakout. I don't know why, but today is the day of the breakout trade. It's also the 50-period moving average on the daily. So in about 3 cents, I'm going long on Lucid, which is, how's about nowish?
Yeah, we're going to 371. Oh man, 371 like 16 or something here for a stop. We just went short, so we have a new position alert. So let's just do that for everybody. Right now, it's going to be softy. We just shorted it again. We're short. It's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be good. How many shares? Oh, we don't have a whole bunch of shares. It's not moving. But let's just wait to see. I thought we got some more short up there. We did not. We waited for We were offering 73s. It doesn't look like that hit. I thought that hit, so my bad. We don't have very many shares. Let's go back down into 370 and see if we can get a fill there. Sorry about that chart. But Microsoft under the 50, under the VWAP. The market just made a little bit of a run, which is making me a bit nervous, but here we go. It's 20 cents in the money. Let's see if it goes back down in a little bit lower than where we are right now. That's going to be Microsoft. Affirm's trying to get there, man. It's been a while since we had the Dollar Club here today, but it looks like Affirm can get that chance right now. Again, we're short at 40.20. It's just trying to bounce off these bottoms at 39.50. I'm going to wait for 39. I think if we break this and I'm right and the market falls, then we're going to have something here. So let's see that break right now back in. That best bid that we have is 39.29, but I'm down in here into 39 to see if that can hit. And here we go, man. We just got Microsoft on board. Decent amount, so not a decent amount, but not as many shares as I thought, but still good. We'll take a 35 fill there, and then I'm going to bid down near 370 flat, see if that comes in, but there it is right there. Another win for us on Softy, but it's kind of not much is... Remember I said relatively flat day on the market? I mean, it's had big moves for sure. NASDAQ flat right now. And oil, by the way, USO, we're going to, it's not, we should have an energy recap as well. No. But oil right now making a nice move down 2.5. I know it's part of sector.
You see the latest? Technical difficulties
is that what they said?
In refilling the strategic oil reserves due to... I don't know. It wasn't technical difficulties. They used another term for it, and I was just like, huh?
Yeah, probably not.
I've never heard of this issue with the way some of the whatever
Maybe
crap
somebody
is dug.
was sleeping when they should have filled it back up.
Basically, they said they were going to buy at these levels, and they haven't been buying. Let's get to Adara here for Sector Watch.
There goes Affirm.
Quite a lot of strength here in different sectors, specifically producer manufacturing, very strong, very much in the green here today. Consumer durables also pretty strong right now, led by Tesla, despite news of those Sweden and Denmark labor concerns. Also some strength in consumer services with MasterCard, health technology, pretty mixed, but finance very strong as well. In terms of the electronic technology sector, definitely keep an eye on these chip names amid news with Nvidia with regards to Jensen Huang, CEO, basically saying that they're trying to work with the US for the Chinese chip restrictions. So keep an eye on all of these chip names right now. AMD to the upside. A little bit more weakness actually in technology services. Microsoft to the downside right now. And keep an eye on Google as they've just announced an update for Gemini and an AI hypercomputer. So keep an eye on that one, guys.
Thank you very much. I'm loving that transition.
Yes, yeah.
It's I feel like obviously it's new because I didn't see it when I was here on Friday. The new position for me is in Lucid, and breakouts have been a thing this morning if you've been paying attention. So it broke a local high. It seems like a random price on a 3-minute chart because it is a random price on a 3-minute chart, but it isn't on the 15-minute, breaking out that 57. I'm long literally at 58. I hadn't even, as I was talking about it, I was setting up a stop order to go long if it broke 57, and then I saw it break and I just punched myself. So I didn't punch myself, I punched the level myself. I hit it at 58. I got offers all the way into 75, and then if it breaks 75s, then I want to hold the last third into a $5 level. Apple is still checking up underneath, ooh, look at those fun wigs. Checking up underneath that previous support. It just held a second time as we bounce off 15.9. This is the short that I like, but the one that just came up, plug again. Wait for 420 on plug. I was just in at 4.7 with a stop at 12, said I'd risk 5 or 6 cents that time. It just broke higher. So plug, initially a good trade to the short, holds 390 and now wants to break the plug to the upside. That doesn't even make any sense, but let's go to Adara.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Sphere here, making new highs on the day with pretty strong volume as Guggenheim it upgrades to a buy with a $40 price target. So keep an eye on Sphere Entertainment, SPHR.
Yeah. We're rounding into the high of the day there.
That's a good one.
I had to redeem myself there because the last one sucked.
What was the last one? I mean?
Oh, some nonsense about it doesn't matter. It was absolutely horrible, blah, blah, blah. But I forgot to mention this, but well, I'm a man of my word, so whatever. I don't like the bet. But apparently we've already, this is clearly not still just order placed, but the pineapple pizza's been ordered and is probably on its way shortly. So we're not going to be wasting any time here.
It says 11:30 arrived.
Is it now 11? It says 11:30 here, so it's going to be there sometime during the midday show. So I'm sure when I'm eating it, will pan to me and we can make fun of myself making faces because I don't like pineapple pizza, but I said I'd do it. And then Sharif obviously knew that someone probably told him. And then he on purpose, he didn't say anything about Liotto, and now I have to eat a pineapple pizza. Good for him, man. It's smart. I'm an idiot, so you got to take advantage of it when you can. I want to get just quickly before I throw back to Sean, CCL, I was thinking dip buy. This stock really doesn't want to dip. This is a very tight, for 15 minutes, it's had a 5-cent range at the high of the day, which makes it hard to dip back into the previous high when it's doing that. So it's clearly some kind of accumulation happening. For now, I still think it's a stair step to the upside, but you can see what's going on there with CCL. 5.5% for that name. I got one fill in there in Lucid as that continues to break higher. And Turper, you can take the pineapple off and eat it. No, I'm not doing that. That would be cheating. I'm not taking the pineapple off. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a bet made, a bet lost, a bet honored.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm not gonna find some loophole to get out of the bet.
There is no problem on that.
Shout out to Domino's Pizza who just got some free advertising.
No shout out to Domino's Pizza. Negative shout outs. We didn't even order from Domino's. Never heard of them. Okay. We're just in some more positions now that are kind of just floating around. Like Amazon came back up. We're short Amazon right now. I want to be short against this 146.20 or so level. VWAP's at 146.25. My stop is a break of that level, which may happen. And if it does, then we get stopped out. I mean, these are trades worth taking, in my opinion. Here's Microsoft. We're short this name as well. We're short at 70s. We just got printed at 50s. I don't want to scout back and forth right now because obviously there is some bigger moves happening or can possibly happen here in the market, but you got to trade what's in front of you. And honestly, it's like we've done this numerous times. I told you the number one stock P&L wise from the show, the whole show, both midday, both everything was Microsoft last month. So we'll stay with what we're doing right now and watch it. So that's what we're going to do on that one. Microsoft. Affirm went 99 cents in the money and then bounced off 39.20. So again, we are waiting there. We're actually waiting a little bit lower into 39. Hopefully that can come through. So right now, my only concern is really with Amazon. Of course, we punched the bottom of GameStop, no doubt about that. It goes back up to 15.11 there. It's okay, but yeah, not happy with that. At least we had the levels right, so we're trying to learn every day about getting better on that. NIO. All right, I just clicked on this. I didn't even realize we were all the way back up here, to be honest with you. We don't have that many shares of this name, but now that it's up there, we might as well catch some high fills there. And then Amazon going upside again. We just got more short right now on Amazon. That last fill's right here at O's. So, or not at O's, at 146, but now we're starting to rip a little bit higher. We still want to take a little bit more short right about here against that 146.25, but look at the number. The market is really bouncing off that 15.8. Now firmly, not affirmly, but firmly above 15.9. So let's see what happens. We're looking to get a little bit more short right here.
Yeah, I just got out of Apple. It's going to seem like a tight stop because it is. Whoops, I don't want to change the chart interval. I want to zoom in. There you go. So it's going to seem like a tight stop, but it needed to hold underneath that 65. It just broke out locally. I can jump back into this trade if it fails this high and maybe get back in underneath that 50 and go for the same look again, or I'm waiting out for VWAP. So I'm only in one long. Is the market's still in like a downward pattern, which is hilarious because it's like every other stock I look at is breaking out. But we're still in this like lower high pattern. So big tech, I'm still thinking the short until I see some more strength here. Maybe it could be an Apple. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's the EV names, man. Like Rivian, 11% now. So this is, now I'm thinking 19, maybe 19's the next level because Rivian continues higher. I'm in Lucid, but that's a late trade there on Lucid. The other one to get to, of course, we talked about CCL already. I wanted to mention C3AI. We went to this once. This is not really showing signs of the breakout that I thought it was going to do. So it's stair-stepping to the downside in front of earnings, and this has been a pretty decent resistance level up in the low 30s for C3AI. If it breaks out in either direction, I probably take this. If it takes out the top, if it takes out the bottom, I think you just go for it in either direction. Palantir is the next one. Look, Palantir holds a higher low. This could also be a breakout trade. So 1785 for a potential breakout. I think the 1730 long looks pretty good, but it's much closer to the breakout trade than it is that dip buy.
Man, we just, wow, Amazon just flushed and we got our rear ends saved right there. Like that just flushed. We just got a 93 fill on that one, guys. That was huge. And we punched some more out on Microsoft as that just went, like, look at this trade, guys. That just went into the third, I mean, it's, why are all these stupid wicks? 34s, 40s. So good fills there on Softy as we wicked all the way down there on that move. So yeah, man, whoopsies. Those were like saved bids, man. You gotta put those bids out. That was whoo-wee. Yeah, as you can see, we are a little bit excited about getting that fill. So, all right, that's that. Let's move on. GameStop still can go to hell, of course. We've already talked about that one, although now it's back in the money. We held. It's irrelevant how much we held because it's irrelevant because we already got out to 75% there, but we did hold 25. I mean, if this can get back up here, then we could be flat again, but I don't know if that's going to come through at all. So let's wait for it. Hopefully it does. Amazon still floating around. I mean, this move, yes, sir. Holy crap, guys. This move back down means a hell of a lot to me. You have no idea. We put on the shares and saved us. So that's going to be a good short there for Amazon. Let's just hold it and see if it can really be a party. So that again, good trade there. Really happy with that hold. It's Amazon back in, bouncing off the 50 periods. I do have another bid down there in the 80s, so let's see if it can come in again now for us. But this is one that we sort of stuck our neck out on, gave you guys this one against the VWAP, against this 200 period. Let's see if it continues to go down. This would be a really, really good one for me if that does happen. And then, of course, you guys already know what's good. This is the trade of the day for me. And the reason why is because everyone's always looking for free resources. We have watchlist.tradertv.live, the best watch list period, and completely free. Plus, you got the sticky note here as well, giving you the level and the trades that I'm going to make. These aren't just like levels that we're looking at. If they do come in, I do have to take them because so many times I sit there and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I not take that? GitLab, a nice move from yesterday. Maybe we can, yeah, they had a nice earnings report. But all right, it's 10:51. Let's go see what our money's up to.
USD, the DXY here slightly to the downside amid a week of employment-related data. We did get the ADP non-farm employment change earlier today, so that came in much lower than expected. 103,000 versus 130,000 estimated. We also had JOLTS data that was the lowest it's been since March 2021 yesterday. Still waiting on the NFP non-farm payrolls coming on Friday, so keep an eye on that with regards to the USD and the economic outlook here. Also of note, we did have comments from the Bank of Canada earlier today, holding the interest rate at 5%. Some fairly hawkish comments. We're basically saying that there's unlikely to have any rate lowering anytime soon. As you can see here, we do have the Bank of Canada rising, or sorry, the Canadian dollar here rising against the USD on the daily candle, guys.
Right, Microsoft falling back in. Good news there. I hear Sharif's happy with the no change in interest rate, but not super happy with the wording. It seems like from BOC there, Bank of Canada, of course. All right, so there goes Microsoft again. We took another fill down there. This time was at 35-ish as we're trying to rip around. And honestly, guys, I said that we were like counting our blessings with Amazon. So blessings on blessings on blessings. Shout out to Big Sean. The thing is like 146 is going to, like, this is going to go up. So we are light on this one. And what I was just going to say, like, we got out, man. We've been getting more out here on Amazon. I don't know why we're zoomed in that much, but against this view up. So a little bit of a break there. We are out of everything now on Amazon as the market looks like it wants to just kind of hover around here and kind of do what we thought it would do today, which isn't that a heck of a lot. It's still moving. I shouldn't keep saying like it's not moving because we are moving. But here we go again to the downside, hopefully with the market, but it's a nice take there. Microsoft reloading us on the short a little bit as well. So yeah, we still want to play the short, but it is a slippery slope up here, I feel like.
Yeah, this market now holding, if it breaks out at 59.75, I think we get pretty nasty. But you got to try to find the strong names. I think that's where we've been going for these breakout trades, and it happens to be EVs. It's not like I didn't sit down this morning thinking EVs were going to be super strong or breaking out. It's just so set up that way. Lucid was the most recent one at that 57 break. It just tagged 70s. I have an offer in front of 475, and then we'll just see where it can go from there. But this is wild. Even Plug Power, which opened up as a shorting opportunity. I mean, now 420 almost looks like a breakout price if Plug can get through that 420. I'm more inclined to let it get positive on the day through 25. Like my look for Plug would be break 425, get long 26 or 27, and then use that 420 double top as a stop. So I'd get out at like a 19, with a stop at about 19 or 18, and I'd go long if it breaks the 425 at like 26s and 27s. So I'm not going to go long on a 20 break. I want this to show me some, what's the word, like confluence, confirmation, whatever term you want to throw out there. Was what I want for Plug Power before I think about the long. I just don't want to be there just yet. So we're in that Lucid. We still want to give it a chance to go, but there's been so many of these breaks which have been fantastic. The latest of which, TCL now up 6%, and it just made a fresh high. Forget about dip buying. It looks like that 1740. Like that might just be the level to work off of, or the next level to work off of. If the stair step says 1740, then who might argue with it? Next available dip, I'll try to risk 5 cents going long. This is a time of day. Like you're either very particular about price, tighter stops, less size, all that kind of stuff, especially if a stock is breaking out when you're buying highs. I don't mind joining the trend, but I'm not buying here to hold it all the way back to VWAP. Not going to risk 2.5% on CCL at 1055, but I'll try to join the trend here for a tight stop.
All right, how it's going? It's going pretty well on Nio, as there we go, up 11% again off of the sticky note that we talked about earlier coming into play again. And it was just one of those levels that we saw yesterday, a great report from Nio, and then it came right in to this 17, if it loads, you'll see. Where was it? Right into here, 1780, wow. Okay, it's from yesterday, so it's right there. It's that. I don't have, I was looking for the indicator. I took the indicator off that. So right there. Okay, let's quickly get some orders out. 1780. So that was the break level. That was the sticky note level. So if you're wondering why we're still in it, it's because of that reason. We're light. We talked about getting out of it, so we don't have too many shares on this name. But what we do have shares on is this, and it's Amazon. So I'm going to cover some more right here at 99. I mean, you guys want to talk about being confident in your trade. That's a reloaded. I mean, we're not super confident. We were panicking about it. But there it goes back in. We reloaded it, right? So good little take there. By the way, Microsoft just took off. So back and forth, eventually out on the upside. So there it goes. We were playing against 370, a couple outs until eventually it broke. So there's the out rate now, over 371. Not a great trade because we're not super close to VWAP yet, but we were sort of shorting it under this 50 period. Then it started to kind of whoop up there a little bit. So that's something to look at for sure for me next time on Microsoft. We just got stopped. We can maybe get back in, but look at the market. Maybe we do touch VWAP again. Shoot. Right back in on that one. Okay. Affirm made a move back up. I'm debating reshorting this, Microsoft. Oh, that sucks that we just We got stopped out, but that's fine. You got to have your price targets anyways. There it is. We'll go short back in this name again here in case the market does want to dip back in. That stop out really does suck, but what are you going to do? It's a stop out for a reason. Nio continuing to move. Microsoft now a dime in the money. Who cares? GameStop still hovering around as well. Affirm bounces real nice off that 39.20. I'm not going to reshort it until it gets back up to 40.25, which we're getting, again, pretty close to that level there too.
Yeah, speaking of levels, this market comes back down. There is another stock I like to the south side. It's ARM. We mentioned this one at support, 62.5. Well, it broke that support level right here at about 10.20, and it's consolidating lower. I'm on the off for 62.5, but 63 is going to be my out on any short. So that you get a wick high in here. You got 62.75 as a previous support level. If it breaks 63, I think I know I'd be wrong about the trade at that point. So I'm looking to short this consolidation at 62.5 and give it to 63. Hampton's trader, Uber too strong to short 60s. Well, I mean,
maybe
at this time of day, you could probably do worse than shorting big levels on a stock for scalping them anyways. But it's got a triple top at 59.80. I mean, it's a very strong stock. My first impulse isn't to short Uber at all. I'll be honest with you. My gut is there's still room for it to go. It already gave a bit of a feint on the S&P 500 inclusion, which we now know the date's going to be the 15th. It's going to go in when they do the index rebalancing, which is about the most boring thing they could do. To me, it's more exciting if they do it where Uber is the only thing happening, where it's going into the S&P when nothing else is happening. That would be more exciting. The good news for the short is there's resistance here at 60. The bad news is they get put in bigger resistance at 61 on Friday. I'm almost thinking, why not look for longs into 61 if it's going to continue to trend and be relatively strong? It's a relatively strong name. I'd rather short the big level than this one here. It's not to say that it couldn't work, but I'm still thinking it can get to 61, especially if the market does anything to the upside. I still want to believe in longs and relatively strong stocks. Although one of those, so we got a couple outs there on Lucid. It's coming right back in. If it cannot hold the breakout price, then we got to jump out of this. I'm along at 58. If it can't hold 55s, I just get the you-know-what out of Dodge. Now, when you're chasing a move like this, it was at 420, it then broke out, held 440. Like, you're getting the top. If it's gonna break 455, you could be back at 440, and maybe that's a good long. But I'm not holding this 58 all the way back into 440. That wouldn't make a heck of a lot of sense.
All right, we're almost done, man. 10:59. It's been a good day so far. Sharif's reviewing some videos, it looks like, over there. Yeah, from your video from yesterday. So good job.
He doesn't believe in headphones.
No, he does not, apparently. All right, Microsoft is getting right up to VWAP. I was going to say this is the trade that we're relying. Well, okay, Microsoft ripping. I don't know, the future's not really doing anything, but Microsoft right up to VWAP. So we got to get out of this one if it's wrong, which it looks like it is, again, on this short. Amazon short is fine. Well, here we go. Maybe we're pulling back a little bit. I don't know what that little bump up was all about, but here we go again. So it's going to be a fun afternoon. Thank you for watching this show. It's good to have Neil back, obviously. Obi, I haven't seen Obi today, but I don't know if he's here or not. But we will continue to trade. I'm just getting my orders out. He is. Okay, good.
I turn around, like, I can see his head popping up. He sits, like, right behind.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, beside Max. I don't know if Max is here either, but whatever. Okay, Amazon, Affirm, GameStop, Microsoft, Nio, lots of positions, Lucid and CCL over here. Thanks so much for watching, of course. We're back at 2 o'clock, but for right now, it is the Midday Madness with Sharif and Adara.
This used to be called the Midday Madness, formerly known as the Midday Show. Now